Hey everybody, what's going on? It's September 1st. Why are you getting out of... You're going into the next person's video again.
Look at the fucking camera's all fucked up.
It's not fucked up.
Yeah, it is. It's not centered.
Well, yeah, because when it was centered, it looked really weird.
I'll fix it.
Well, you weren't in here, see?
I'll fix it.
That's what happens.
There you go. That's a lot better.
All right.
Yeah, it's better.
Well, hey everybody, what's going on? Like I said.
Yeah, we're just getting ready. Just getting the show ready.
I mean, you know, I've been in here before, but, you know, you weren't.
See, she's mad at me because I wasn't in here.
Well, you never come in here, like, early enough to...
All right.
Now we got, like, all these
That's
wires.
Perfect now.
We got wires and shit
That's
hanging
you.
in the fucking...
That's your
No.
fault.
No, it's not my fault. That's your fault.
How's that my fault?
I don't know, because everything's your fault.
Okay. I didn't have anything to do with that. See,
Well, neither did
she's
I.
just fucking with me.
Neither did I. It's
We
just
got
like
all
that.
those little ring lights and everything.
Everything's
we can turn
dangling.
on.
Everything's
Yeah.
dangling. Well, we're not going to turn that on, you know.
No.
I said
We got that one there. I forgot about that one.
Well, yeah. I don't. There's one on the camera too, but I don't. We don't turn that one on because then it's like way too bright.
Mhm.
So yeah. So hey everybody, what's going on? It's Friday night.
It's Friday and Jen finally finished her job. That's it.
I'm free.
That was her last day.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're full time.
I'm so excited.
Full time hoes now. We're getting that.
We're full-time host.
We were full time internet before. It's just that, you know, opening up the new business. We're gonna start hammering away on that probably tomorrow night, maybe a little bit Sunday. Get certain things set up, set the Twitter up, link tree and shit like that.
Get all that going.
Then I'm having my porn friends fucking pour all their fucking friend connections and shit through Twitter. What do they call them? What do they call it? Contacts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can become internet superstars.
Well, yeah, we'll see. I hope so.
We're gonna see. Yeah.
I mean, I think we're gonna do good. Like I said, as long as I make enough money to live on, like as much as I was making before,
It'll happen.
then I'll be
Because
happy.
you also have all your other little side gigs.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You'll have more money for that, or more time for that.
Yeah,
side
that's
gigs.
another thing. Because I do have like freelance work that I'm kind of always rushing to finish. Because
we did the numbers. You could actually make, what was it, $300 a month less and still break even.
Yeah, because that's how much I was spending in gas.
That's what the gas was. Yeah.
Going over there.
$300 a month in gas to commute to that motherfucker.
Yeah. Far.
Tearing that car up.
Well,
Poor
honestly,
little car.
what I thought, I was, you know, that car is a hero, I have to say.
Yeah.
She's very old.
Ford Taurus.
She's almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
And all this week, I was kind of like nervous about it because I said it would be just my fucking luck for this to be this. Because when I was driving home, I said I'm not going to be excited about this being my last day until I get home. Yeah. Because I said it would be just my fucking luck to be on the last day of Friday, and I'm going home and like the car breaks down or it won't start or something like that. But no, it was fine.
Remind me this weekend. Go down there and test that battery. That battery's overdue.
Yeah, I know.
But and batteries are fucking gone up quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna buy that new motorcycle tire. I'm just gonna pull that tire off there and patch it from within.
Okay, but please be careful, like when you're riding that around.
Yeah, well, that's the one I don't ride as fast. That's the 1000.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Bike. I don't know how fast you're going out on the road.
That's just my street bike.
I'm sure you're not telling me.
No, the fucking race bike.
He's sneaking around behind, like going 100 miles an hour down to the Oasis, or wherever
no,
it
I'm
is.
not going that fast. I'm just going to legal street speeds mostly.
Okay, well that's good.
Very rarely do I go over 70 or 80 on the XP9.
Yeah, okay, well that's fair enough.
Yeah.
That's about how fast I drive, which is way over the speed limit. But hey,
the acceleration's faster. I get up there a lot quicker. I'm just boom, you know what I mean? But fuck it, I don't want to lose my license.
Holy shit, man. Like, when I was coming home today, like, I was on 44, and there was a guy on a motorcycle/scooter kind of thing. I guess he'd been to the store because he had a bag, like, over his arm. That bitch was going, like, 35 miles an hour. I finally...
He had a bag over his arm?
Yeah, we're like a, plastic bag, like
you know
a grocery. Why?
Because, man, I've done that before. It fills up with air like a fucking parachute, and it'll rip off your arm.
Well, there was stuff. Yeah, there was stuff in it.
Yeah,
like
it'll rip the
and
plastic
stuff.
and it'll go flying off your arm. So he's trying to go as slow as he can because if he gets any air in there, it'll
fly up.
It'll just pull off his arm.
I had to go around him though because I'm like,
it'll stretch the
I'm like,
out.
yo, I'm not going 35 miles an hour all the way home. Absolutely not.
He evidently it was something he couldn't stuff down his jacket.
Yeah, I couldn't see what it was in there.
It acts
Maybe
like
it was like a gallon of milk.
Just fucking starts stretching the fucking plastic and boom, and all your shit goes everywhere. Had it happen.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and it has stopped giving shit. Not recently.
Yeah.
That was just a mistake I made a long time ago. You can't.
I guess it only happens one time, and then you learn.
Yeah, and you learn. Yeah, you can't just fucking put your arm through the fucking holes in the plastic bag and ride. It'll fucking tear it right off.
Yeah. October 8th says I'm getting new leather lace-up pants. Hell yeah, just like
who's
Jim
this?
Morrison. October 8th.
October?
Yeah.
It's a guy?
Well, we haven't seen you in a long time. And Dermot is here, too. I haven't seen Dermot in a long time.
Yeah.
So, hey, everybody, welcome.
Get them sexy-ass leather pants,
Sexy-ass leather pants.
Yeah. They start to form to your body. I've had a pair of them before. They eventually fucking start ripping at the fucking crotch.
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say they eventually start standing up on their own.
No.
Like in your shape.
They eventually start fucking, at least the pair that I had, they start getting eaten out around the crotch. Just rips in an inopportune time. There's no way to fucking fix it. You could probably sew it, but you'd have to sew a big ass patch, you know. And I was fucking in my 20s. I was like, fuck it. I just threw the things away.
Yeah, well.
Somebody gave them to me anyway.
Yeah, October 8th said I'm still building my bike, and yes, I'm a guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Okay.
What kind of bike is it he's building?
I don't know.
What
What do you ask me for? I don't know. YP posted, get him a Flintstones bike, foot powered, granite wheels. So we can't go that far. Oracle says, I have good news. We got the path report back on my husband's second biopsy. They got everything out, and the verdict is benign.
Oh, good.
That's good. At least, I mean, you know, you deserve to have some good news, for Christ's sake, of all the shit that happened. Mark says, the rock and roll show you guys did recently was excellent. Well, thank you very much.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
That was a good time.
It was fun, yeah.
I've actually really liked, I mean, I usually really like all of the topics that we do, or I wouldn't do them, but the last couple topics we've done, like the last show that we did about the Man in the Iron Mask and the Rock and Roll Mysteries one, I don't know, I had a lot of fun doing those. I had a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah.
Zach says, yeah, you get leather pants and they're nice until you have to peel yourself out of them with a spatula and lots of soap. I don't think I've ever owned a pair of leather pants. I would never afford them. I've had some fake leather pants.
They look good. They look real good.
Yeah.
They've got to be pretty tight. And when they're tight, they're gonna split eventually. If they're too baggy,
plus it's hot as a motherfucker down here.
A lot of the motorcycle ones are baggy on purpose because you need some give in them. You know what I mean?
Right.
But if you want to look like a rock star like Jim Morrison, that bitch has got to be tight.
Yeah.
That's like an old fucking old Motley Crue fucking leather pants off the fucking Too Fast for Love album.
They got to see your bulge.
Yeah, they didn't even have zippers. They had it down, lace on a fucking front of a shoe where your dick is. You just pull it. Yeah, because it was there's less chance of failure on something like that. Just eyelets and a fucking, you know what I mean, a string.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's kind of nice that it's sort of adjustable.
Yeah.
You know.
And they were laced down the side so you can adjust how tight they were. Yeah.
YP Post said leather pants killed Jim Morrison. Only way he could hit those high notes, though, I'd be screaming too. Sure.
Them motherfuckers, boy, man, evidently Jim Morrison's pants stunk to high heaven, man. He never washed them things. Filled with bacteria.
That's pretty gross.
You can wear it almost indefinitely because it kind of breathes like skin.
You can, but should you? That's the larger question. Zach says, Jenny, writing question. Okay. What do you do when coming up with good dialogue? I kind of act the scenes out and talk to myself as the characters when I write. I kind of do that too. I'll write stuff just kind of out of my head, but then when I go back, I'll read it out loud so that, so I'm making sure that it doesn't sound fucked up. You know what I mean? I was like, well, does that sound like something a person would actually say? Or, you know what I mean? Because I've read a lot of books where the dialogue was strange. It shouldn't call attention to itself. I mean, you shouldn't be thinking about it. I don't remember what book it was, and I think I did a video on it a while back. But the book overall was good, but the dialogue in there was so weird. The guy, the author didn't use any contractions hardly. And most of the characters were teenage boys. And I'm like, teenage boys don't talk like, I will not do that. They don't talk like that. And it was very, very jarring. So it kept like kind of like pulling me out of the story. And I'm just like, I wonder why that was allowed to fly. It's very weird. It was just really weird. It was like a weird decision. Like I said, it was a good story and it was like good otherwise, but I just thought that was bizarre.
All right, October Wraith said that he was building a Yamaha 650 XS pandemonium style bobber. I think the Yamaha 650 was kind of like the 650 XL back in the day, which was, I think, something kind of based like a Triumph. I think it's the same bike he's talking about. Okay, like that one movie that had the first movie that had the Wolverine in it. You know that live action Wolverine movie. He had a Yamaha XL. I think it was maybe late 70s, early 80s. He had one all beat up one on the back of his camper. They were hard to find back then, so but they were basically a Bonneville, basically. Somebody had told me that the original XL was actually a Triumph Bonneville. That Yamaha, when Triumph went out of business, Triumph sold the fucking blueprints to the new Bonneville to Yamaha, and they released it as a Yamaha XL. But it was actually, on paper, originally a Triumph, like an improved version of a Bonneville. That may be the bike he's talking about, or a later version of that.
October Wraith also says, I'm kind of fat, but you must have leather lace-up pants. YPPO said, you could write a horror story about saltwatered leather, old school torture method. And somebody, I think Camp Guy said that Ed Gein would know how to take care of leather pants.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about old Ed Gein the other day. Because I was rereading the, remember when we watched that movie Deranged from 1974, I want to say, or 73? When did that movie come out? It was early 70s. And remember, it was the one that actually at the time that was the most, it was a fictional movie obviously, but it was the most accurate to the Ed Gein crimes. Although they did kind of like, it's pretty gory and fucked up and everything like that, but they did kind of like tone it down a little bit. They didn't have, like he had like some bowls made out of skulls and shit like that, but he didn't have like, they didn't find the box of vulvas or anything like they did in real life. Didn't he have a box of vulvas? Ed Gein?
No, he just had a box of damn pussies.
Well, that's what I said. It was a box of vulvas.
I thought that was okay.
That's the outside of it.
Okay.
That's the outside of the pussy.
That's the outside of it? Or, yeah.
You didn't know that?
At first, I thought you were talking about the car.
He had a box full of vulvas.
It's like, what? It's like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's even better.
That's what I'm going to start calling mine from now on.
Yeah.
A Volvo.
Yeah, that's a Volvo.
Well, because if you say, like, and I think a lot of people maybe don't even know this, but it's like if you say vagina, that's not like the outside, that's the inside part.
Yeah.
The vulva's the outside part.
Yeah. Guys don't care. We're just trying to get in it.
Well, I know they don't care. I'm just saying. Words mean things.
Yeah.
Words mean things. But, Zach says, actually, Jen, have you ever written a story with a serial killer in it? That might be real cool. I have written, well, there's at least one that I'm coming up with just, I've written so many stories, but there is one that I have come up with a long time ago that had a serial killer in it. But it was almost kind of like, there was a serial killer, but then there was also kind of like a supernatural kind of shit going on, like, on the other side of it, like... I don't know. I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, I have done at least one with a serial killer. He was I can't remember what he was called. It was a long time ago that I wrote it, but I can't remember what he was called. He had some kind of like animal thing that he did, like a trademark that he left on the victims and stuff. Box of peas, what the fuck? Yeah, I mean, Ed Gein had, well, and didn't he have like the nipple belt too?
Yeah.
I know he had the nipple belt. And a box of Volvos.
He had a lady suit. He had a face.
Yeah.
He had somebody's, I don't remember whose face it was. He had a lady face that he used as a mask.
I mean.
Did he ever take any living people to see that stuff while he was alive before he killed them? I don't think so. He killed them remotely, didn't he? And then just brought them there dead. I don't think he brought anybody alive there.
Well, what about that one woman that he took out in the barn and, like, butchered like a...
She was dead, I think, when he got her there. Isn't that the one he shot?
Oh, maybe.
He shot her when
now
she was
I can't
at work
remember.
and put her in his
That's
trunk,
right.
and then took her there. I don't think he took anybody alive there. Nobody knew.
Can you imagine, like, taking the date over there and
He
just
was,
like, I want to show you, like, all my...
He might have been crazy, but he wasn't so crazy. He knew his place looked like shit. He didn't want anybody to see how fucked up it looked inside that house.
Yeah, Ben said he shot her at her shop. That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about
her.
that. Because didn't he kill... He killed, what, 2? 3?
Something like that. Yeah.
Because most of the fucked up...
been 2.
I think it was only 2, but, like, most of the fucked up shit they found in his house was, like, stuff that he dug out of graves.
He dug them up, yeah.
I mean, which, you know, that's not good either.
It's easy to get a girlfriend that way.
Yeah.
Just go down to the cemetery. Dig one up.
You got your pick.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. We're already going to get
What's
demonetized.
funny is he liked the old ones. He liked the old fat ones. You know, I guess he felt more comfortable.
Everybody has a type,
That was his type, yeah. That was better than that Russian dude digging up all those dead little girls and then dressing them up as dolls.
Oh, that was so weird. We did a show about that, didn't we?
Yeah, he thought he was saving them from the ground.
I think we did a show about... Was that the same show that we did that weirdo, like, I think was from Florida, that woman that he was in love with died, and then, like, he stole her body and kept it in his house?
Made a fake vagina, made a fake vag for her and everything. He was having sex with it.
Yeah.
That weird dude. He knew her when she was alive. When she died, he went down there and got her.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't kill anybody, but still...
No, and matter of fact, the dude that dug up all the little girls over in Russia, I don't think he wasn't molesting them either. He was digging them up dead.
Well,
and
that we know of. Yeah, have you seen
there wasn't any signs of
right.
that, and like his parents saw them and thought that they were handmade dolls.
Yeah.
You couldn't see the faces; they were all wrapped up.
Yeah, because he wrapped up in like little coats and
make
hats and shit like that, and
he had him all dressed up. I saw photographs of him. He had about 6 or 7 of them. He said he couldn't bear to leave them in the ground.
Yeah, which, okay.
He had some mental problems. He said he could hear him
calling
and crying and stuff.
Yeah, he had some issues.
Yeah.
I mean, you know. Tammy said, I just watched The Last Voyage of the Demeter. Loved it. Question, do you think there will be a part 2? I hope so, because they kind of did set it up for that, but it didn't do as well as they were expecting, so I imagine probably not, unfortunately. But yeah, they could have set that up as like a whole fucking series, man. Because like, I don't know, like Universal, some of the movies that they've done in their quote unquote dark universe, it's like they keep trying to like get it started, but it's like it seems like they're not real. They just can't get it off the ground, man.
They don't have any consistency.
Yeah.
They can't stick to anything.
Yeah, and it's like some of the movies individually are good. Yeah. Like I said, like I really liked Last Voyage of the Demeter. I really liked Invisible Man that came out a few years ago. But you know, some of them were just like not good, and they didn't really think it through, I guess.
All of those studios are collapsing. Just I've been seeing shit on it, like their stocks, fucking Disney stock is just fucking plummeted because people are, and then they think that it's artificially inflated because they're lying about how much money that they're losing on all this streaming shit. I don't think Disney's gonna survive. I mean, you know, that's just not me pulling out of my ass. They're financially just fucked up, and they did it because they bought all those properties and all that streaming shit, and then sunk all that money into shitty Star Wars. That wasn't good Star Wars. The only good Star Wars they had was fucking the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. Because, and you know, remember our friend was right. The guy who worked for Disney, Tracy's ex-husband. I remember when they bought that property. He worked for Disney. He doesn't win anymore though. He actually was a mechanic though. He worked at the park, and he knew that company real well. And when they bought that, I was jacked. I said, "Man, they got a lot of money. They'll probably make great." And he's like, "No," he goes, "No, you don't know this company. They're gonna ruin that shit." The Force Awakens came out. I thought it was okay, but then the second one and the third one is like, nah. And then all the fucking, I was turned off by that shit. Although somebody sent me a DVD of The Mandalorian, or Blu-ray, bootleg Blu-ray of the fucking Mandalorian. That shit was fucking top-notch quality. A viewer sent it me. I forgot who it was though. Drop it in the comment section if.
Well, I thought somebody also gave us their Disney Plus
and then they gave
password
us to look at see the second season.
Yeah.
And
so
man, I was like, yeah, The Mandalorian. The first couple seasons, like, man, this is it. But then Disney politically started falling apart because through all this infighting between all these fucking people trying to run the Star Wars fucking section, man, that shit.
Well, like I said, I mean, I already have Hulu, and I think they have a bundle deal now where you, for like a couple more bucks, you can get Disney Plus too. But
don't bother.
But but like I said, I'm already paying like $9 for Hulu. So
don't bother.
If there's anything on
there that you want to watch,
Disney. Because but there might be stuff I want to watch.
Evidently, a lot of the good shit's not on there anymore. They're in these fucked up weird licensing agreements with other platforms, and then they just backed out of a deal today with another platform, and the people that paid for it through that other platform says, "Hey, where's all the Disney shit that I paid for?" It just Disney's falling apart. But Tracy's ex-husband was right. He says he says he knows them, how they do things and how they think. He just says they will fuck Star Wars up.
Ben's telling us some Ed Gein jokes. The sheriff told Ed Gein he would get the chair. Have a heart, he replied. Ed Gein's been helping to win the Vietnam War by shipping them arms. So there's nice. That's nice. Zach says, the 2 true crime cases that still fuck me up to this day are Nora Fuller. Yeah, that is a very fucked up case. And the family murders in Australia. Yeah, those are bad. I don't know if we did a show about Nora Fuller, but I wrote about her in my Faceless Villain book. But I'm pretty sure we did a show about the family murders. What's that dude's name? Shit, it's right on the fucking tip of my tongue. And I was just thinking about it the other day, too, because I was going back through my books and reading about it. What was his fucking name? God damn it. It'll probably come to me like fucking 10 minutes from now. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah. Let's see. Ed Gein took Got Your Nose way too literally. Ben says, Adelaide is not a good place to visit. Yeah, he said he had that weird German-Dutch name. Yeah, it was like fucking... God damn it. What the hell was it? It's right on the damn tip of my tongue. But I can't think of it. Yeah, Zach says, Nora Fuller would make a really good movie if you ask me. The details of it are just so damn creepy. Yeah, I do kind of remember like a little bit of the details around that case, and I'm surprised it's not better known. Zach says, also, a show suggestion, Princess Diana death conspiracies.
Yeah.
That might be interesting. Yeah. Let me, wait, do I have a pen?
October says, I know something and I'm intelligent, but I don't know what it is you're referring to.
Can you hand me that paper, a piece of paper and a pen?
Where? Oh.
It's just, there's wherever. There's tons of paper and shit like that over there. I just didn't bring it over here with me. I will write that down and put it in the next poll. Princess Di conspiracies. Yeah, because that was one that I probably wouldn't have thought of. Okay. Oh yeah, Muhammad Al-Fayed passed away. Yeah. Camp guy, weirdest for me would be that gal that lived in a box under that dude's bed voluntarily for like 7 years or more. Yeah, you know what? I was just listening to one of those like creepy story compilations because I like to listen to them while I drive, and they were talking about that.
It wasn't really voluntarily.
Well, yeah, I mean, she just got like Stendhal syndrome, like Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, they grabbed her when she was a little kid, basically.
Right.
I think she was 17 or 16 or something, and they just terrified her. And that dude was vicious, man. He did like these fucking vicious tortures and stuff, and it just broke her. And then she ended up falling in love with the guy. But he just put a box on her head that had a big. It was all fucking. She said it was super hot. You could barely breathe through it. And he'd have that box on her head for days, you know, fucking. And then just he'd do stuff to her, you know. The first one he captured, he killed. Accidentally trying to cut her vocal cords out because she was screaming too much. He didn't want her screaming when he was doing this shit to her. And his girlfriend helped him. His girlfriend was another one that had a Stockholm syndrome. She helped him abduct both of those girls.
Yeah.
But and you looked at the dude and he's just looked like a fucking beta. You know what I mean? Just
well, they all kind of look like that. Other than. Like, the only ones that I can think of that were actually, like, good-looking or normal-looking, like, as far as that goes, were the Ken and Barbie killers.
Yeah.
Paul Bernardo and that other bitch's name.
Yeah, there was something up with them. Sadist.
Yeah.
There was more like a thrill kill, too.
Yeah, that was a fucking... Killers. We did it... Yeah, I think we talked about them on, like, one of our fucked up Valentine's Day shows, where we always do killer couples.
Yeah.
But, Carla Homolka, that was her name. Carla Homolka. They let her out, didn't they?
Yeah, they gave her a slap on the wrist. She went to some kind of damn it was like a minimum security.
Yeah.
Lesbian vacation resort, basically, and laying out there in her bikini with her friends. There was a fucking photograph that smuggled out of there. Somebody took a picture of her in a bikini laying out in the fucking yard, the prison yard, with her girlfriend. She had a girlfriend in there, but she wasn't in there for very long. It's because she rolled over and ratted on her boyfriend, but she killed some of them girls too. She just said, well, I was scared. Yeah, right.
Well, wasn't that the one where she actually like offered up her sister?
Yeah.
To him, and they killed the sister.
It was an accident that he killed the sister, but she offered him up for sex.
Yeah, and she was like, what, 14, 15?
Yeah, they drugged her and knocked her out.
Yeah.
The drugs killed her.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
So she deserved to die, but this is Canada. They're soft, you know.
I mean, he got in trouble, but it's like, I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe they thought,
take them both out.
I mean, just that. I can't even imagine. I can't imagine where you would get to a place in your life where you would think that any of that was like remotely okay.
You've gone so wrong at that point, you got to go. Just saying, you know, that's just how it is.
That's the thing, and we've talked about this before. Like, I'm not a big proponent of the death penalty or anything like that, but it's just kind of like people like that. I'm not really sure it can be fixed. Once you've gone that far in that direction, I don't think they can fix it.
The problem is with the American system is they spend too much money on it and too much time. When they know that you've done it and they sentence you to death, the appeals should be quick. You know what I mean? And it should be just procedural. And then when it's when you lose your appeal, they just kill you right then. They just take you out back and shoot you. There's none of this big. Like China, that's how China does it. There's no big, well, we're going to spend $7 million in 14 years. You know what I mean? Fucking sentence this dude to death. No, fuck that. Yeah, there's going to be an error rate. But that's with everything. You're dealing with the government; they don't care. You know. But usually, you know, I would say that they'd have to know. You know, there's just too much evidence.
Yeah, I mean, if they were sure.
Yeah, they guys got to be sure.
Like I said, there has to be at least fucking DNA evidence for sure.
Well, I'm talking about guys like Bundy. You know.
Yeah. Like I said, it would just be like super extreme cases. Yeah. Like if there's mitigating factors, then no. But it's just like, yeah, somebody like Ted Bundy or people like that just did the most fucked up shit imaginable and didn't feel bad or don't seem capable of feeling bad.
Well, you know, it's not just shit like that. You hold up a store and you fucking execute the damn employees. No, you should die. You know, you go in to go rob a damn 7-Eleven, you got a minimum wage worker, you shoot the dude for no reason. It's not even his money.
Yeah.
It's just because you don't want to be identified? Yeah, you gotta die.
Wear a fucking mask then.
Yeah.
Pro tip. Zach says, oh, fun fact. I learned it's both Barry Gibb's birthday and his wedding anniversary today. Zach has a big crush on Barry Gibb, you guys.
It's his hair. It's his hair.
It's that fabulous hair.
Yeah. That hair's gay as hell. It's retroactively gay. It's pulling him back into another time to be gay. He's being gay in the past.
If Victor was here, he would say that Barry Gibb's hair made me gay.
Victor would say, Barry Gibb's hair made me gay. Before I was born, back in 1970. Yeah.
That's how that works.
1976.
Sure.
Yeah. The gay gene reaching backwards in time, grabbing you, making you gay from the past. It's like a gay time warp.
Let's see the gay time warp again.
Yeah. They made a whole movie about the gay time warp.
They did.
Hey, you just reminded me of it. We know the butler.
Huh?
Good friends with the butler from that movie.
Which one?
Yeah. Dr.
Oh, right.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking?
Riff Raff.
Yeah, Riff Raff.
Not the actual Riff Raff, but you know what I mean.
Our version of Riff Raff.
Somebody who kind of looked like Riff Raff. Isabella said, did you watch Snowtown? Yes, I did. If you're not into like real fucked up depressing movies, probably give it a pass. It was really good, but not a good time. Yeah, it's about the murders. Good movie, but I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. Yeah, same. And then Ben says, yeah, Snowtown wasn't about the family murders, different murder ring. Family murders was homosexuals killing young men. Snowtown was young men killing homosexuals. Yeah, it was two different things. YP Post said, ribcage necklace. Yeah, I got my ribcage necklace on today. Wednesday Addams is a lightweight. I guess. What is it? She didn't have a necklace, did she? At least on the original show. On the original show, she always wore the same dress.
Yeah.
Like on the Netflix series, they put different outfits on her, but...
Yeah.
I guess because it was based on the comic, and she always had the same little dress on.
Yeah, it's actually a comic strip.
Yeah, it was a comic strip.
Yeah.
Like,
they drew them all the same. They were just icons, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
Exact same.
I have a book of the original comics. They were kind of panel comics, actually.
Yeah,
I don't even think
Edward
it was
Gorey
straight
type.
Yeah, I mean, Edward Gorey stuff is a lot more elaborate and a lot more surrealist. I will say that. But I don't know. I like them both. I love Edward Gorey, by the way. He's my favorite. I have a bunch of books of his stuff too. His stuff was like super weird, but I love it that Edward Gorey got pretty popular. I mean, he had really a whole career out of the stuff that he drew. And if you read some of his stuff, it's like the weirdest fucking shit imaginable. That would never happen. I mean, I feel like that would never happen. Like something that, especially back then. But I guess it was original. Like, you know, nobody really was doing anything like that. Actually, matter of fact, right over there, I have a big print of the Gashley Crumb Tinies, which if you haven't seen it is it's like an illustrated poem about children dying in horrible ways, and it rhymes, and it's really cool. But yeah, and that's actually the second one I had because I had one before and it got all fucked up, so I had to buy another one because I liked it so much. But let's see. Talking about Barbara Streisand because he had Barry Gibb on there. Time travel makes you gay. Sure, I guess it could. Yeah, he was talking about Rocky Horror, but I was confused because I was like, we don't know the actual riffraff. What are you talking about? Zach says, I've learned that if you put a charismatic, good-looking man in front of me and have him talk about interesting shit, I'm putty in your hands. That's good to know, Zach. We might need to use that information against you at some point. We never would. I'm just kidding. It'd be so easy to get me to join a cult, and I don't like it. Oh, no. Well, I mean, at least you're aware of it, so maybe that would, keep it from happening, but looks like my hair is, caught in my glasses. I don't think I could ever... I mean, I don't... You know, you can't ever say never. I mean, it would depend on how people came at me with it, but I don't think I could ever get... Anybody could ever get me to join a cult. Because I'm not a joiner. I don't even like to join groups of, shit that I like. You know what I mean? Like, the minute somebody says, hey, do you want to join this? And I'm just like, no, I don't want to join anything. Thank you. I'm not... I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like people that much, so I guess that's probably why. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, October 8th said necklace looks cool. Thank you very much. Yeah, I got it on I just got it on Shein. I think it was like $2, you know. I think it was $2. Ben said gory stuff was a newspaper comic originally, wasn't it? I'm not real sure. I know Charles Adams stuff was because like I said, I think his was like a panel comic. It wasn't like a comic strip. Edward Gorey, he started out as a commercial artist and an illustrator because I first saw his stuff when he was illustrating people's books, like YA novels. He illustrated the original publication of John Bellaire's The House with a Clock in Its Walls, which was one of my favorite books when I was growing up. And I think that was the first time that I'd seen his artwork. It was either that or you remember that PBS show called Mystery? And the animation at the beginning, Edward Gorey drew that. So I used to see that when I was a kid too because I saw it all the time in PBS in the 70s. And I think that was... So it was either one of those two things. But then so he illustrated a lot of books, but then I found out later that he had written his own little books that were usually poems. And then he illustrated those as well. He would just have these little books that came out with little stories in them.
Ben said the time travel makes you gay.
Yeah.
It's got me thinking, man, about Doctor Who.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What's your theory as far as that goes?
What happens when you just fucking live traveling through time? Do you flip gay and straight every time you time travel? It flips you over? So
why would it do that?
So in some of the episodes, fucking the Doctor is straight, and in other episodes, the Doctor's gay, but he's in the closet, and see, you don't know. So yeah, that's just how my mind was working. Saying, what would it be like if that would actually happen, if that was actually written into the script? Imagine that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it was okay. I'm not real up on my Doctor Who lore because like you watched it, the Tom Baker ones like a lot more than I did.
The only Doctor Who.
Because you have BritBox.
Yeah, he's the only Doctor Who.
And see, I mean, there's been a lot of them, but I liked Christopher Eccleston, but I didn't see all of them.
He's alright.
But I thought he's not even a person, is he really? Or he's not like a human technically.
He's not a human.
Yeah, that's
he's
what
from Gallifrey.
That's right.
He's a Time Lord.
Yeah, I knew he was a Time Lord, but I wasn't sure what that implied.
There's a whole race of them. He stole that TARDIS. It didn't work. It was broken. That's why it always looked like a police box. It couldn't change. It's supposed to change to fit the environment. But he stole it from a repair center. He was on the run from something. I forgot what it was. And I think he was young for a Time Lord. He was like their version of a teenager. Because I guess they were damn near immortal because they would rejuvenate. They'd die and they'd come back as somebody else. That's how they explained caste changes.
See, that was a brilliant idea.
Yeah. You regenerate and turn something into somebody else.
Sure. Zach says, Tom, I'm sure Doctor Who fan fiction has all the answers to your questions.
Man, there's Star Trek fan fiction where, of course, Kirk and Spock are getting it on. They even got fucking drawings and shit. A friend of mine fucking had it in a textbook back in his college textbook back in the 90s when he was going to college. He was in something about literature, and they just showed it as a sample about what fan fiction was. That was something else when you had to go to college to know what fan fiction was.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was a different time.
Pre-internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just funny to think about, because, people have been writing it ever since there's been shit to write about.
Yep.
And they've probably been writing dirty versions of everything since it was shit to write about. But it's, one of these days, I don't really have any time, and I'm interested, but not that interested. You know what I mean? Like, interested enough to go look at, like, the Kirk and Spock.
That's really geeky shit.
Porn.
Yeah,
that's okay. I'm geeky. I'm not ashamed of it.
I think all that's, women would probably be into that.
Well, like I said,
because it's written.
Yeah.
Dudes have it, but they're making like virtual reality 3D porn of known like video game characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Lots of that, yeah. Some of it's fucking well edited, turn it into music videos and shit. Eventually fucking AI will be able to just fucking make fantastic fucking porn out of nothing. Impossible body shapes. Furry porn. They had all that shit. Fuda porn.
Yeah, they got all of that.
But I think and some of that shit looks like, it puts Pixar to shame. It looks like they're using the same software that like Pixar would work. That's why a lot of these movie companies are in so much trouble, fucking. They're like, yeah, my son makes those. That kind of shit. He can make that same fucking cartoon, yeah. Fucking computers are another joke.
Well, and you can make stuff to your own specifications. Yeah. Like you can make stuff that you like. So
yeah,
you know what I mean.
So if the writing isn't superb, if it's not really a good time, there's some people, there's going to be movies, but I think there's going to be fewer of them, and they're going to be cheaper.
Kalen Higgins said, cults can only prey on people who actively want to be a part of something, no matter what it is. So not liking people could save you. See, that's what I always thought. Because I have absolutely never felt the need to be a part of anything. In fact, I actively avoid it. So I just don't think they could get me unless they came at it real roundabout.
All ex-Scientologist cult members all say, well, I just joined because I wanted to help out. I'm trying to help the world. And it's just like, you fucking fool. Like you're arrogant enough to think that you can fucking clear the planet. Just ridiculous.
That's what I mean. It's just very, and particularly Scientology. And I know we pick on Scientology a lot, but that's just because we know the most about them. Because, like I said, I used to work with a bunch of Scientologists, and it was a horrifying experience. And and then subsequently researched it a lot. But that's kind of the thing. Is there's such, and I guess this is kind of true of most cults and most religions, is there's definitely an aspect of narcissism.
Yeah. You'd have to be a narcissist. Oh, I can help the planet. Yeah. I'm going to save the planet. Yeah, just the planet doesn't want your fucking saving. You know what I mean?
I'm like, dude,
there are people making money off of the way it being fucked up. You know, they would kill you to stop you from saving.
Well, and the thing about it is that really all you can do, it's like, you know, just do little shit that's good.
Help
you know what I mean?
Your family.
Just help your, or you know, throw a couple bucks like toward like an animal shelter or something like that. Like if everybody does that, then in aggregate it makes the world a better place. But it's like no one person or no little group of people, especially not fucking Scientologists, are going to improve the world by doing whatever the fuck it is that they're doing.
Not by making everybody Scientologists at fucking $40,000 a head.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. The idea is ridiculous.
Every trailer park and fucking get $40,000 out of them to get them clear, and then we're gonna run them up the bridge, which is, you know, they gotta go. They're leveling up to be a wizard, basically.
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's just like I kind of feel like people that get into it, they talk a good game about they think they're gonna help clear the planet and everything like that. But I think deep down they just want to be a wizard.
Yeah, they want to be a wizard. They want to be a Jedi.
That's essentially what it is.
And they want to help you, but you got to pay them.
Right.
You got to pay them $40,000 just to get clear. Fucking fools.
Zach says, legit, if they ever made a movie about Scientology, I mean, they kind of did, which was The Master.
The Master, yeah.
Which was sort of loosely based on L. Ron Hubbard.
It's pretty close.
Yeah. I mean, it's clearly, they changed all the names and stuff, probably so they wouldn't get their asses sued, but it's like pretty close. But he says, if they made one, who should play L. Ron and who should play Miscavige?
Tom Cruise should play Miscavige, actually. Tom Cruise could probably play Miscavige real well, because he knows him.
Yeah.
He'd never do it, ever.
No, of course not. Although that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I would actually go and watch that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want to see this shit show.
Yeah, the same size, too. And they got the short man mafia going on. Short dudes took over fucking Scientology. Short, mean guys.
Short, mean guys.
Yeah, Tom's kind of mean, evidently. Yeah.
See, that does not...
He's diabolical.
See, that does not shock me in the slightest. Yeah. And like I said, we've talked about this many times before. I know we always get talking about like Tom Cruise and Steven Seagal and all that kind of stuff. But it's just kind of like, I don't know why anybody would be surprised that he was like kind of an asshole. I was like, he always comes across as an asshole to me. Always. Always has done.
He's high strung. And he's, comes across as, I don't want to say arrogant, but yeah, I guess kind of cocky. He's cocky.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
But he's also kind of like some of his mannerisms. You can tell that they're kind of affected. He's trying to influence you,
and I don't like that either.
He's trying to influence you and trying to.
And he's not as slick about it as he probably thinks he is.
And he's different for each audience. He's tailoring everything to. He's a performer. You know, he's an actor, and he's using that as a fucking Scientology secret power. It probably works on Scientologists.
Well, it probably works on
works on fans too, probably.
But assholes like me, I'd just be like, man, knock that shit off. What are you doing?
I'd have to meet him. For other people
I'd
said
probably end up smacking him in the mouth.
Other people said that they met him and said that he was super nice. So
I guess it depends.
I guess it depends, yeah.
Well, there's people like that. It's like sometimes if you go along with whatever their little situation is, then yeah, they're gonna be super nice because you're playing along. If you don't play along, then they're probably like real fucking antagonistic toward you.
I don't think it was a person playing along. It was another actor.
Maybe.
Said they met, he was just that he wasn't like he expected. He was real nice. Said I heard about him. I had to build up to what he was like. Although that was probably 10 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
He said I met him. He's a nice guy. You know, that's what that guy said.
Okay.
But they were working together, so I don't know.
Right. Yeah, that might just be some shit that they gotta say because it's not like you can come out later like you made a movie with somebody and be like, man, I hated that motherfucker. Yeah. You know, you're not gonna get work again. Although I don't think he's got a problem with that.
Being ex-military myself and understanding the cult, understanding Scientology, he probably treats you according to your station in his eyes. In other words, what your rank is. So it's going to be hierarchical. You know, if you're another actor and maybe he likes your work, he probably treat you as a peer. If you're a cult member, that you know, you're lower ranking than him. He's damn near number 2 in that fucking cult. Well, probably at a social level, he probably is number 2. Top 5 easily. So he's going to treat you kind of like in a military situation, like, come here, private, that kind of shit.
Right. Yeah, come here and wipe my ass,
private.
peasant.
Yeah. Clean this whole vehicle here. Make sure that shit's vacuumed out. And are they working over there? Do they work? They do work? Okay, show me that they work. Bring those motherfuckers out here, because they cuss like crazy in Scientology. Come here.
I do that too.
Come here, you're supposed to be skilled, right? You got hammers, you got fucking wood, you got carpet and shit. I want you to tear this whole back seat out. I want you to put me a whole bunch of speakers, the best speakers we got. I want Bose speakers in there. Right? He's gonna, he tell him to do some shit like that. You know what I mean? Rebuilt, put in a badass sound system.
And a disco ball.
And a disco ball in the back of his
and
fucking Escalade
fringe.
or something, Yeah, it's,
Oh, he would totally drive an Escalade.
And they'd be, yes, sir, Mr. Cruz. And they'd fucking get in there and fucking 2 days later.
Can I kiss your ass some more?
That shit would just be decked out. And he goes, yeah, you guys did pretty good.
Yeah, no thanks.
All right, I gotta get the fuck out of here. He takes off.
Like I said, I can't. I don't know. I just can't.
Church property.
I can't get down with that kind of situation. That's like I said. That's why I would never join a cult or anything like that. I don't like hierarchical shit. I don't like people like lording shit over me. I don't like. I was like, man, fuck you. You shit and put your pants on the same as everybody else.
You're not like the infantry.
You're not any better.
You would not like the infantry.
So don't fucking tell me what to do. You know what I'm saying? Well, I know. That's why I never fucking join, because I don't like that kind of shit.
You don't like that at all.
I don't like being told what to do. I just do not. So that's kind of, so it causes some problems, but that's just what I'm like. I've always been like that. Zach says, I was never into Tom Cruise even before I knew anything about Scientology, because something seems off with his acting style. It's very surface. Yeah, he always just comes across as just very glib and arrogant, and like there's not a lot going on behind this facade. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just kind of the impression that I got. I don't know. Wait a minute. Who is this camp guy talking to? Oh, camp guy said, I just saw a really good in-depth documentary about that Alec Murdaugh that was convicted of killing his wife and son in South Carolina. Oh, yeah. Did I start watching that? And then I didn't finish it for some reason? I think that sounds familiar. Maybe I did start watching it. It's like I never realized he was in on a whole lot of other shade and larcenous lawyer stuff. Ripped off clients for millions. Also, his son was driving a boat when it crashed and killed a girl. Yeah. I did start watching that. I think I watched like the first episode and I meant to go back and finish it, and I don't think I ever did. It's on Netflix, right? I thought it was. That was a while back that I
what's funny is that it's my understanding that a lot of people who are like very wealthy, rich, most of them make that shit off of fraud, embezzlement, and fucking stealing shit from other rich people.
Well, yeah, of course.
Really, that's fucking where a lot of it comes from. And it's just kind of a thing that rich people do, steal from each other.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, weird.
They're not like the rest of us.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Kaylin Higgins
like
said
Jeffrey Epstein, they don't know where that money came from. That probably Ghislaine Maxwell's dad's money. They never have been able to figure out where. They said he was some kind of investor. They had all these titles. There's no proof he ever made any money off of any of that. Just a mystery man. He's like a construct. Like it had to be CIA. It had to be some intelligence agency. But they never explained where he got his money. Nobody ever did business with him in terms of like he would claim to be doing currency trading and stuff. But no, there's no proof that he had an income. Strange. Very mysterious.
Yeah, not really. I mean, they're always doing all kind of like fucking shady.
Yeah, he had all these titles. They'd call him all these things, but there's no proof that he didn't have any customers.
Yeah. Wait, I just saw something. Oh, yeah. YP posted Tom Cruise presents as a psychopath. That's kind of what I always, the impression that I always got as well. Like, he came across a very, surface level. Like there's nothing going on in his mind or, like, behind his eyes, you know what I mean? He seems kind of blank. Kaylin says he always seemed like that to me. It's why, Kaylin Higgins said, it's why I can't help but feel a little bad for people who get wrapped up in cults just for the sake of combating their own loneliness. Yeah, and that's the thing, and I think they definitely do. I mean, why do you think, like, cults and larger religions, too, why do you think they target people, like, at their most vulnerable. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, oh, you got problems, we can fix it, we can solve it. We have like this big community, and that's very appealing for a lot of people. But like I said, cranky motherfuckers like me, I don't subscribe to that kind of shit because it's like I don't want to hang around with people because I don't like people. So it's just not appealing to me at all.
Jenny's a little harder on Cruz than me. I don't quite see him the same way. I like a lot of his movies.
I'm not saying I don't like some of his movies.
Yeah, that last Mission Impossible movie I thought was really good.
Yeah, it was.
I like pretty much all those Mission Impossible movies, even the early ones that were kind of hokey.
That first one was pretty hokey, I guess.
Well, they were movies of their time.
Yeah.
John Woo was a real hot director when that came out. My take on him is that he came from humble beginnings. He was a good performer. Scientology helped him. They said it helped him with dyslexia. I don't know if that's a code word for maybe not being able to read. I don't fucking know. I don't know where Tom exactly came from in terms of what kind of guy. I just think he was a simple guy. He made a lot of money very quickly, got very famous real quickly, and that probably had a very big effect on your ego, especially if you're kind of a guy from humble beginnings.
Yeah, it goes to their head a lot of times. It depends on the kind of personality that you have, though. Some people turn out okay, but...
Yeah. So then he gets sheltered by fame and the cult. And, to be Tom Cruise's girlfriend, that was like applying for a job. You know what I mean? The cult would make you jump through all these hoops and make sure that you're good enough to even talk to Tom Cruise, you know?
No dick
it's
is
crazy
worth
shit when you think about it.
No dick is worth
So he's
that,
he didn't live a normal life.
No, obviously.
No. But he's pretty skilled, man. Can fly. He can ride motorcycles pretty well. You know, I've seen him ride. He can shoot. He can fly aircraft. You know, he's not a dummy. He's skilled, and a lot of those stunts he does them. So you got to give him that. And when he's doing a Tom Cruise movie, he doesn't phone that shit in, man. He's giving his all. Even that fucking Mummy movie that flopped. I liked that movie.
I did not.
I liked it. I thought it was fun. It didn't have anything to do with the Mummy. Nothing to do with the Mummy.
Would someone please make a Mummy movie kind of like the Boris Karloff one?
Yeah.
I mean, we still have the Boris Karloff one. I mean, I can just watch that because that movie's awesome. But it's just kind of like, if you're gonna remake it, like make it like that.
Yeah. Most of the time, he's kind of playing the same character, the Tom Cruise you're used to seeing. He's almost like he's playing himself, I guess. If that's what you want to call it.
Well, see, that's how he always came from.
I don't know that because that's not him. But that's that same character. Now he has stepped out of the role, like in Collateral. I think he did a great job as a psycho. He makes a fucking great villain. I think his best role is the Ethan Hunt character. I thought he was great in fucking Interview with the Vampire. I thought he made a great Lestat. Because man, Lestat's kind of a villain, you know, likable villain, and he's good at that. Tom can pull that off.
He should do that more often.
Yeah, but you don't want to be a villain all the time. Because his fans want to see him as basically Ethan Hunt, basically, or some kind of hero dude. That last Top Gun, the remake of Star Wars, really what it was, but
it was essentially
he's basically destroying the Death Star.
Yeah. I mean, I think we even said that in the theater. Yeah. I'm like, so he's destroying the Death Star.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. Okay.
It didn't go in. That's it just impacted on the surface.
I know, and I was just like,
right out of fucking Star Wars.
God damn it, Porkins. Hey, but you know what I mean? But it was pretty much exactly that. Yeah. It was still like a good movie, but I didn't get I liked the movie, but I didn't get why everybody was just jizzing their pants over it.
It was a very traditional, old school kind of movie.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. It's just
I was just saying, I was just kind of like, it didn't really I didn't really like the first one either.
Yeah, I didn't like the first one.
I mean, it's not really my thing.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a horror and indie girl. I don't really like those big blockbusters usually.
But Top Gun, the first Top Gun was not like a blockbuster. Not really. It was an oddball movie from the day that it came out.
I guess
it was just it was a product of its time. Kind of cheesy, you know, but a lot of movies of that time were.
Yeah, Yeah, so was Karate Kid. So
Karate. Yeah,
I mean, everything was very. But in a way, I think that's why a lot of people, and even like people,
liked them.
Well, I think even people that weren't even born back then, and like younger people now that are really into '80s movies, I think that's why. I think they like the earnestness.
And it's definitely fantasy.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's very earnest, but it's fantasy.
Like, they're not... I think after the 90s came along, like, everything had to be, like, snarky and...
gritty, realistic.
And ironic and shit like that. Yeah. Like, oh, well, we're too cool. We have to kind of, like, make fun of this. We can't, like, have genuine emotions or anything. But, like, the 80s ones were just very earnest and, like, very genuine. And yeah, they were cheesy. And, yeah, they were over the top. But they weren't trying to be... clever. They weren't trying to like make fun of the shit or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Good '80s movie, like you said. What I would like to I would describe them as they were good natured. They were like a good hearted movie. It wasn't pissing you off. It wasn't trying to challenge you really. It was kind of junk food. It was like it confirmed. It confirmed your suspicions that the world was a good place and that if you did the right thing, you could get ahead.
That everything would work out.
Everything would work out, and that and the good people were fucking rewarded, and the bad people were.
Yeah, is the world really like that? No, of course not.
No, but it was that's great, positive propaganda because it fucking keeps people in a good mood and makes them. I think it makes them trust their fellow man a little bit better because it puts them in a good mood. You put everybody in a bad mood, they'll turn on each other. Just fucking in a military unit, you'll see that. So there's certain elements of positive propaganda they're kind of healthy for a society. And that was really the 80s. It was kind of like a way they were trying to fucking, I think, rebuild society after the fucking Vietnam War.
And there was a lot of fucked up shit happening in the 80s. Well, there was a lot of fucked up shit happening in the 80s, too, and I think people were just kind of, like, over hearing about it.
Anymore.
And it's just, like, they just wanted to, like, turn their brain off and have fun, which, like, sometimes people should be able to do that.
Yeah, there was a massive fucking crime epidemic, fucking big wave of crack epidemic hit. There was a big crime wave was going on at that time. Fucking, they started locking people up for, the 3 strikes you're out law. If you get 3...
Well, I mean, there was a lot of shit going on. I mean, it was still kind of like, it was still kind of the Cold War. It was still, there was the AIDS epidemic. There was still, like, there was all of this shit going on. And it's just kind of like, so people just wanted escapism, I guess.
Yeah. And Hollywood made a shit ton of money selling that. And that was a good call. You could see dark movies. They had those too.
Yeah, and that's usually what I ended up watching. Yeah, but I liked a lot of the kind of feel good movies.
Good escapist feel good movies were fucking great, man. Like Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. It was like that. I loved that movie. There was just a lot of them from that time. I like the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Basically, were like that. Predator, not so much, but Total Recall, fucking great movie. Kind of positive feeling. Even Running Man. Commando. They were just fun movies. They were kind of like the platform video games of the day.
Yeah,
like that too. They were. I think most platform video games were actually kind of modeled after the Commando movie, because when you watch that movie, it's a lot like a video game at the time. Yeah. Scrolling by and different music for each level. There's kind of like little boss fights. It's just a lot like a video game.
You know what's interesting to me, though, and I'm not sure if this is just me personally, like just what I'm like, but it's like because I've always been into gruesome shit. So I've always liked horror movies and scary stories and feel-bad type of entertainment and like sad music and everything. But the weird thing about it is that watching fucked up horror movies or listening to like really depressing sad music or something like that actually like makes me happy in like a twisted kind of way, and I'm not really sure I can articulate why that is. And so like a lot of times if I see these real feel good movies, they kind of like piss me off. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not always, it depends on how it's done, but a lot of times if I go see a movie, it's like, everything's awesome, and also I'm like, shut the fuck up, it is not. You know what I mean? Like, I get really mad about it.
YP Poe said that fucking Plus, he's talking about Tom Cruise, he's done a lot for the Lollipop Guild.
I know.
Hey, man, stop that shit. I'm in the short man mafia, too, man. I think me and
Tom's getting offended.
Yeah, me and Tom are probably the same size.
You might be a little bit taller than Tom Cruise.
Yeah. About 5'6".
I always had the impression that Tom Cruise was about my height.
Maybe.
Which is 5'3".
It depends. No, I don't think it's that small. It depends on what shoes he's wearing.
Well, the same can be said for me.
I don't.
When I have my big stacked boots on, I'm taller than you are.
I think he's around 5'5".
But in real life, I'm about 3 inches shorter than you.
I think he's about 5'5".
Yeah.
5'5". Maybe
so
5'6".
he's not that much taller than me.
Maybe 5'6".
But he's a little bit shorter than you.
And then maybe with some good shoes on, he's maybe 5'7".
With some shoes with some lifts in there.
Yeah, evidently he's got them. Shit, I got them, but I don't fucking hide them. I got big ass fucking golf platforms.
That's what I mean.
I put my fucking demonios on and fucking damn, no, I'm fucking 5'10".
Well, like I said, that's kind of the thing that I always liked about kind of the goth scene and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, we wear all this like artificial shit, but we're not like hiding it. We're not.
Looks like a fucking Frankenstein on the bottom.
We're not trying to like pretend that we really look like that.
Yeah.
It's all artifice.
Yeah, when I got
but
those
it's
on,
open
Jen's
artifice.
wearing her version of it too, so actually the height difference maintains the same.
Yeah.
Jen becomes tall as fuck too in that shit.
Yeah, because I've got a few boots that are like really tall.
Don't be surprised when them goth girls take their shoes off and they fucking their knees. Well, damn.
You're like a foot shorter than you were when I saw you at the club earlier.
Yeah, my friend Damian's girlfriend, man. Whenever I see her out, she'll stand up, fucking give me a hug, fucking, because when we show up to the club, and she'll have her flat shoes on, not her club shoes on, and I'm constantly reminded how little she is.
Because she seems so tall.
She seems tall
because
as shit.
Usually when we see her, we're out, and she's got these big stacked like platform boots on. But when you see her with flat shoes or without shoes on, then she's like really short.
She's maybe 4'10".
Yeah.
She's about 4'10" probably. Little bitty thing, weighs about 85 pounds.
Well, and our friend Sonia was like that too. Yeah. It's like she would wear these big platform boots out, but then like you forget she was like not even 5 feet tall.
No, not even 5 feet tall. No.
Not even 5 feet.
Like
she's a lot,
4'10".
Yeah, she's a lot shorter than me, and I'm pretty short.
She weighed 80 pounds probably.
If that.
And 5 of those pounds were implants.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach says, I know what you mean, Jenny. I also hate feel-good stuff because most of it feels phony. Yeah. Feel-bad stuff just feels more earnest to me. I don't know why. Yeah, and it depends. I don't necessarily just want to see something that's just like wallowing in misery, but...
That can be fake too.
But, well, yeah, that can be fake too. So that can also be overdone. Like, look at this horrible shit, and I'm just like, all right, just stop it. But, I don't know.
A mixture.
Yeah, I do as well. It's just, I don't know. It depends on the movie or on the medium. I tend to like feel bad type of stuff. I tend to like stuff with like unhappy endings. I tend to like stuff like that. But it depends. It depends on the story. I like any kind of story that seems like it's organic or seems like that's the way it's supposed to be.
I think my perfect mixture from that era would have been Beverly Hills Cop 1 and 2. It was a feel-good movie. They had happy endings in them. But people got killed in them. There was a sense that, maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe the characters are in danger. But, you're just fucking, it's a suspension of disbelief.
Right.
You know, but...
you don't want a thing where it's just kind of, where it's like everybody, like all the cool characters have plot armor, which is what they call it. Well, like, you know that they're not going to get killed.
Because Axel got shot.
Yeah.
In a couple of them. And the last one, in 3, I think he gets shot up pretty bad, but they live. I think he gets shot in the second one, too. But it's like in the arm or the leg, you know what I mean? He's gonna be alright. That kind of shit.
I love in those 80s movies, like somebody gets shot in the arm or leg, and it's just kind of like they're like, oh, ow, but they're still doing
then
shit.
Then they go right back to
and I'm just like,
fighting a dude and
you would actually not be doing that.
Nope.
I'm sorry. You'd be like, I need to go to the hospital, please.
Yeah. If it hits bone, that arm would just be fucking dying.
It would just be hanging there. Meat, You're not gonna be fighting with anybody. You're not gonna be driving a car. You're not gonna be climbing up the side of a building. You're not gonna be doing any of that stuff.
Yeah, fucking Indiana Jones got shot in the arm. Fought with the fucking German truck driver.
It was adrenaline, man.
And he got punched in the arm 3 times in the bullet wound.
Right.
And he still made it to the damn ship and got out of there and fucking, what is it, just a few scenes later, it's like it never happened.
Yeah, they always kind of, they do that a lot. And like, well, they still do it now, but they did it back then too. Because like I said, they don't want the person to get killed, but they want it to seem like dangerous. But then they're like, well, yeah, but we want them to still be like badass and keep fighting. We can't just have them laying in the street screaming, which is what they would really be doing. But I don't know. Me and Tom talk about this all the time because he's always just like, well, that wouldn't really happen. I'm like, yeah, but it's a movie. Sometimes you can't put like what's realistic in a movie because no one will want to fucking watch it. It has to be like, there has to be some fantasy element. It just can't be so much of a fantasy element that it takes you out of the story, I think is what the dividing line is. Because I don't really mind if, if it's trying to be like a quasi-realistic movie and then there's like stuff in there that it's just like, oh, that wouldn't happen that way or blah, blah, blah. But it's just kind of like, I don't know. As long as it's a good story and as long as it kind of makes sense and it doesn't pull me out of it, then it's fine. John Gore said Bone Tomahawk kind of needed a happy ending after all the horror. Yeah, and it's like if you do that, then I don't really mind it. If you haven't seen Bone Tomahawk, please fucking see it. It's so good. I mean, I feel like a lot of horror fans know about it nowadays, but Bone Tomahawk had, and I've watched a lot of horror movies, okay? And it's like gore doesn't bother me, nothing like that. That had one of the most fucked up deaths in any movie ever. It was just, and I think it was more shocking because the movie, for the first 2/3 of it, I want to say, was not really a straight up horror movie. It's like a Western. And then it just goes full on horror toward the end. And then you see this one scene and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? Holy shit. Great fucking movie, though. It's a great fucking movie. What movie you talking about? Bone Tomahawk.
Oh, yeah, great movie, yeah.
That's a great fucking movie.
I'm just amazed, though. Jenny will walk in and I'll be watching reaction videos. And I like to watch younger people react to old classics like the Arnold Schwarzenegger ones and just old Star Wars, shit like that. There's one I've been watching recently, I think it's called Villagers React. And it's these two guys from, I think it's Pakistan. They don't speak any English, but they're reading the subtitles. And they're showing them all the classics, man, and they're fucking tripping out. They're like late 20s probably. And everything that fucking we loved as kids, they fucking love it. The Thing scared the shit out of them. They fucking loved that.
Nice.
They loved it. And then afterwards, he goes, the guy with the beard, man, he looked good. With the beard. Because he had a beard. You didn't talk about fucking... talk about cross... Yeah. They liked him, yeah. And then they were like, man, you couldn't trust anybody.
Love for Kurt Russell, I feel like, is pretty universal.
Another one they liked was they loved fucking Predator. The first Predator. Alien 1 and 2, they lost their shit on that. They saw the Terminator. What else? A couple of the Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. They I think Terminator 2. They saw that, and Predator. They saw. So they just by watching these movies, they don't even know who these peoples are. That they don't know these actors. They've never heard of the movies when they show.
And they don't have the same cultural context that we would have.
Different generation and everything. Well, these two dudes just in like 4 movies became huge Arnold Schwarzenegger. When they saw RoboCop, they loved RoboCop 1.
Everybody loves RoboCop.
Yeah, and the other guy, Masur, goes, "This is a great movie, but I got one problem." He goes, "The RoboCop guy? That should have been Arnold Schwarzenegger." Like, yeah.
That was his only complaint.
Yeah. That should have been Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Don't pick on Peter.
Yeah, that'd have worked. That'd have worked. They thought that should have been Arnold Schwarzenegger. They loved fucking RoboCop. That blew their fucking minds. And then the guy who showed them the movie says there's a part 2, and they goes, "Oh, we gotta see that."
We gotta see that.
Yeah. So they just have no context, but they know a good movie when they see it.
That's cool. Well, like I said, good storytelling is universal.
Yeah. They could not. They saw A New Hope, the first Star Wars. They couldn't believe that was 1977. They like all space movies.
Yeah.
They saw Alien first. That fucking scared the shit out of them, but they liked it. They're like, man.
That movie is scary.
Yeah. They got it and everything. They understood everything about it in terms of the tension. They said that the fucking music was fucking with their heads because that's got a spooky soundtrack.
It does, yeah.
And then
sound design and score are a big part, especially of horror, and I think it doesn't get the credit that it deserves.
When they told them that today we got Aliens. This is part 2 of Alien, one you saw last month. And they were like, oh. And they were already scared when the movie starts. You know what I mean? They were fucking,
right.
Yeah. And then when they found out, when they realized all those eggs have been exposed, they were already, goes, oh, this must be a million of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. They got it. They reacted the same way we did. And the comment was, they said, I can't believe that they were making this in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
which they were fucking well made. Soph said the same thing. We showed Soph when Soph was over here. We showed Soph Alien 1 and 2.
And she had not seen them. She had never seen them.
She couldn't believe that Aliens was all practical effects. She's like, that was fucking amazing.
They didn't have CGI real. When that was
no
made.
CGI.
When did Aliens come out? 86, right? Wasn't that 86?
Yeah, about that. Around that time.
I thought it was 86.
I think it was 86.
Yeah. Because Alien was 79.
Yeah.
But I don't think Aliens came out until 1986. And although I feel like, well, I'm not going to get mad about it, but I do kind of feel like Aliens is one of those movies that everybody brings up as being better than one of the few movies where the sequel is better than the original.
It's just different.
It's just different.
Yeah.
Honestly, I prefer the first one because it's more a straight horror movie, whereas the second one is more like action horror.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they're both fucking great, obviously. I've never met a single person in my entire life that didn't love the Alien movies that didn't love The Thing and Predator. I'm sure they're out there, but I've never met them.
Yeah.
Now, I have met some people that didn't like The Shining, which I don't understand because that's one of my favorite movies ever. But I have met a couple people that hated that. But those other ones, I don't think I ever met anybody. It's just that would be like saying you hated like Back to the Future. Who the fuck hates Back to the Future? Nobody. Everybody loves Back to the Future. It's just one of those movies.
Yeah. Another ones that they showed the Pakistani guys. They showed them Rocky. They fucking loved that. They were going through that whole thing, you know. He better marry that girl, all that kind of shit. And they couldn't believe he fought the fight to a tie. That blew their mind. They hadn't seen part 2 of that, but then they showed him Rambo. That fucked them up too. They liked Rambo.
The book is good. You might like the book actually. I read the book a long time ago.
I read a book that was kind of like that. It was called "The Park Is Mine."
I know what you're talking about.
That's where that story came from.
I don't know about that because, like I said, Rambo was based on a book. That was actually based on a book.
Okay.
I have heard of The Park Is Mine though.
I thought that's.
But I don't know if that's if it came out before that or if it was just kind of like a. I don't remember when the book that Rambo was based on came out.
Okay.
I wanted to say it was 70s, but I can't remember exactly what year.
Yeah, The Park Is Mine is pretty old.
I read it a long time ago.
It's also 70s. I thought that Rambo was based on Park Is Mine. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Ben said Rambo is from First Blood by David Morrell. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I read that a long time ago.
But was that a copy of The Park Is Mine?
Oh, I don't know. See, I don't remember. I don't know. I've heard of that book. I don't think I've read it. But
This Park Is Mine is real close to a Rambo type situation. Yeah. It's a Vietnam veteran. I forgot why he got pissed off. He got pissed off at crime, I think, in Central Park in New York.
Yeah.
And he goes in there using his Vietnam skills and takes over the park. He's got fucking bunkers and tunnels dug all through it. He had assault rifles and all kinds of shit. I don't think he killed anybody, though. It's just that he played like this cat and mouse game, if I remember correctly. He just played a cat and mouse game with like the fire department and the police department. I think they brought in the National Guard and he fucked them up. They didn't kill anybody. That's where, and then I think they capture him in the end, or he gets killed, I think, in the end. But that's how I remember the book. I read that book when I was like 16, so don't quote me on all that. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
John Gore said they were actually going to get Arnold for RoboCop, I heard.
Really?
But his asking price was probably high, and they needed a skinny guy to be in the suit. And then Ben said, yeah, the actor's physique wasn't that important for RoboCop. It was basically just his face. And then YP Poe said, Weller was way more sympathetic than Arnie had the capacity for. Yeah, I'm going to agree with you on that. I don't think, and we've talked about this before too, it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger movies are great, but it's like he's a character. Yeah. Like if you want somebody that's going to play like a person, You know what I mean? And I don't mean that like in a weird, like he's not a person. I'm just saying if you want somebody that comes across more sympathetic or comes across more like a real person, then you don't want to get Arnold Schwarzenegger because he's like larger than life. You know what I mean? He's like a persona.
You know what though? Except for his first big movie, Conan the Barbarian, he had a lot of good scenes in that were cut out of the theatrical release, and they're cut out of even the Blu-ray release. And really, I think Conan is one of his best works, and that movie, fucking John Milius. I mean, it's a fucking mythological masterpiece. You know, talking about fucking what's his name, Nietzschean philosophy, man. It's a fucking great movie. The second one is
not so good.
No, not
could have been good.
Well,
could have been.
I remember one time I was talking shit about Conan 2, my disappointment with it, and it was one of the guys one of the bouncers at Independent Bar, remember?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, but you know what? That is a faithful adaptation of the Marvel comic books. And I thought about it and went, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, so I think they went for like a comic book tone.
It's just because the first one wasn't like that, yeah. So I think
it's a jarring change of tone.
Right, I think that's the problem that I had with it.
But he said
plus it seemed like they cheaped out.
They did. Well, they wanted a PG rating because they thought they wanted to get the kids.
Which don't ever fucking.
And then the new director said, "Well, I don't want to go the Milius route. Let's go the comic book route." And it would have worked if they'd had good boss fights. But the costumes for the fucking monster bosses fucking sucked.
It didn't work.
It looked terrible. You could fix that movie. I watched it recently, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago, and I thought, you could fix this movie if you were to replace the original boss fights with a CGI scene. It'd work. That was the problem. The fight scene sucked.
Yeah.
When he killed that wizard, remember that? That wizard had the lizard head?
Yeah.
And there was stuff like that in the Marvel comic books. Wizards that had lizard heads and shit like that, but it looks a lot better in comic.
I mean,
books.
yeah,
when it's animated.
When you're drawing it,
right.
when it's just a dude in a like cheap ass costume,
suit, you're like, what the fuck is that? So
just take his mask off.
Yeah.
Don't give him any Halloween candy.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. Anytime that you make an R-rated movie. And then the sequel, they're like, oh, well, we want to bring in the kids on this, so we're going to make it PG-13. It's 99% of the time.
There was another one that came out after that called Red Sonja.
Yeah. I've been wanting to do a movie review on that because I remember seeing that on cable like a bunch in the 80s.
I remember liking it.
I think my brother probably liked it more than I did for obvious reasons.
And Arnold's in it, but they couldn't. And it was supposed to be Conan, but they didn't have the license to call him Conan, so they had to change his name. And I want to see
Cohen.
No, it was like Duke something or other, or Count something or other, or Prince. I think it was a Prince. I think is what they call it. But the thing is, I went to go buy that Blu-ray, and they fucking wanted a shit ton of money for it.
Is it super rare or something?
It's rare.
Ben says I have Red Sonja on 4K.
Yeah? Oh, man.
Said I used to have the VHS and I pretty much wore it out. Yeah, I bet.
I want to see it again, man.
Like I said, it was on, I feel like it was on HBO or Cinemax like all the time, like in the 80s and the early 90s.
We want to review it. If y'all want to review, fucking send us the Blu-ray and we'll review it.
Or I can
we'll never get around to it.
Or I can look on streaming and see if it's like, because we have a lot of streaming services that we pay for, so we
maybe
might as well
there's
check.
on there. Maybe there's one on there, yeah.
So it could be.
I wouldn't mind owning it, though.
I think for a while it was on, I want to say it was on Tubi, which is why I thought about reviewing it, because I saw it when I was scrolling through.
And I thought there was another one.
I thought there was too.
For some reason, I'm thinking there's another one that I'm always forgetting about.
Or maybe I'm confusing it because there was like a bunch of like sword and sorcery movies
but I thought
in the
there was
80s.
another one that had Arnold Schwarzenegger in it.
Oh, I don't know.
That was a Conan spinoff, if I remember correctly.
Shit.
And it wasn't a Conan movie, and it wasn't Red Sonja. I think there was another one that he was in. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. But
see, I thought that too, but now I can't remember.
He's in Red Sonja.
Now I can't remember. Ben brings up Pumping Iron. the documentary.
Great movie.
Which is actually I've seen it a couple of times. It actually like is a lot of
fun movie to watch.
If you're into that, dude. And then Ben said Arnold was never trained as an actor, whatever. Yeah, well, that's kind of obvious. He used his natural charisma and intelligence to adapt to the roles. Yeah. I mean, and in certain kind of roles, he kicked ass. Like, he was awesome in The Terminator. He was awesome in Conan. Like, anytime he didn't have to, like, emote or do anything, I don't know. Like, it's like, and he got better as he got older. Because, and we brought this up a lot of times, but if you are new here or something like that, just a couple years ago, I think it was 2016, 2017. When did that movie come out? Maggie?
2016.
But he was in a zombie movie with Abigail. I think it was Abigail Breslin.
It's a great movie.
And it's a zombie movie, and it's called Maggie. Yeah. And he played the dad. He was the dad, and his daughter was zombifying, right? Yeah. And he was trying to hide her from the authorities, like, so she didn't get taken away, because they were taking away, like, all the zombies and stuff. And he was, like, actually great. I'm like, wow, dude can fucking act, like, when he wants to.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree with some of this shit. Okay, look.
Uh-oh.
Arnold could act. He just had a strong accent. In some of the deleted scenes of Conan, if you go on YouTube, go look for Conan deleted scenes. There's a scene that they call introspection, and he talks about the spring wind, and him and Subutai are talking about. And what they're talking about is they're talking about the effects of PTSD, and they're wondering, man, it's 20 years of pitiless combat, and other men are getting married, and this and that. Don't you smell the spring wind and all that kind of shit? You know, it's a euphemism for shouldn't we get married and, you know, become family men? And Subutai is like, yeah, but it would only just leave me back here, you know, and then I'd be fighting next to a dude who was nowhere near as fucking badass as you are. And it's like, yeah, maybe, you know what I mean? And then fucking Conan says, yeah, for us, the spring wind is just fucking a dream, you know. And what they were talking, this is happening after Vietnam, and, you know, Milius was big military buff, man. He wanted to join the U.S. Army first, and then the Air Force, but he couldn't pass the physicals. He wanted to join the French Foreign. He said if this movie was going to bomb, he was going to join the French Foreign Legion. So he did that. He directed that movie with a Legionnaire's fucking beret on him. So he was always talking to soldiers and shit, and guys coming back from the war and interviewing, and they started to like notice that the dudes that were coming back from Vietnam, when they were in the field, they would constantly think about going back home, and women and girls and shit like that. But then as soon as they got home, all they did was constantly think about getting back into Vietnam. And that's kind of what it's like to have PTSD. You get addicted to it. You don't feel right at home because you're not fulfilling a role. It's boring. You want to get back into where a more stressful environment because you've adapted to that. And that's where your identity was formed, you know. So you're trying to get back into some kind of danger. And that's what Subutai is talking about in there. So that's why that scene is in that film. But they took it out for time. Well, during that scene, Arnold fucking does the best acting out of that whole movie. The thing that held Arnold back was his accent, especially in those days.
Yeah.
If you had an accent in the 70s in an American movie, the audiences fucking didn't accept it for some reason because they associated foreign film with something cheap. Because they'd been seeing all these damn...
Either cheap or like arty-farty.
Yeah, or arty-farty. So they didn't... mostly cheap, because they'd seen all these damn Chinese and Japanese kind of cheap movies dubbed into English, and they looked ridiculous. But if you saw them in their original language, they didn't look anywhere near as bad. It's just that when you
That's
dub
why I hate dubbing.
Yeah, dubbing fucking is terrible.
Other than Giallo movies. I give Giallo movies a pass for dubbing.
They dubbed. That's how they come.
Yeah, they're all dubbed. They just do that. Well, because and not just because American market. It was because the actors that were in it were from everywhere. Yeah. So they would usually everybody just speak their own language, and we'll dub it all into other languages later on. Just don't worry about it.
So Arnold could act. It's just he had a strong accent.
Yeah.
And that was one of the reasons why they cut that out for time, and his accent was really exposed. But they fucking Milius talked to the Dino De Laurentiis studios and said, no, man, we got to have Arnold Schwarzenegger, this dude from Pumping Iron, we're going to have him in it. And they're like, yeah, his English skills. No. we're doing Conan. He doesn't speak English. Conan doesn't speak English. This is fucking happening in another.
Yeah, I mean, you can get away with a lot more when it's like a fantasy.
Yeah, it's a fantasy. Say it worked well, but it was so popular, man. People kept calling him back to do more movies. Nobody ever thought that Arnold Schwarzenegger would conquer Hollywood and become governor of California, but that's exactly what happened.
I mean, most other people that would not have been able to.
No, and it was on the back. It was on the back of Conan, and then later on, fucking. I think what was the one after that? I think it was Commando. I think it came after that, or did Terminator come after that? No, it was
Terminator came out for. I thought Commando
Raw
didn't.
Deal, and then
I thought Commando didn't come out till 84 or 85.
Yeah, so
if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they're all. What's funny about Arnold is he filmed them kind of each year. He filmed like 2 or so. They were all coming out around the same time. Sometimes there'd be like 3 Arnold Schwarzenegger movies in a year, if I remember correctly. So they were just like bam, bam, bam.
There was a lot of them.
Yeah, and he didn't know which one were going to be popular, But he was good though, man. His movies were great. I liked them. They were for the time. They were just you just couldn't beat them. They gave the audience what they wanted, and the audience was basically a young male audience. That's what they wanted to see.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was spot on. And really, I liked Terminator was fucking kicking ass. Everybody talking about Terminator 2. I like that. That was okay. My favorite one was actually Total Recall. And it was a lower budget one, but I liked it. I liked the story. Was he tripping? Yeah, he was tripping. He bought the ego trip. None of that happened. It was in his head. He was back at Recall.
Yeah, we have a whole discussion about this.
He was tripping.
Yeah, none of that happened in Total Recall. I mean, the clues are all there.
Yeah, the clues are all there. Although my little swole fucking no, man, it did happen. No, it didn't happen.
Every single time, seriously. Our friend Matt, who Tom calls Little Swole.
Yeah.
Every time these two are out together, they inevitably get into a discussion about Total Recall.
Yeah.
Because Matt believes that he actually did go to Mars and all of that stuff happened.
Yeah.
And Tom keeps trying to
he said,
tell
what about
him.
This and that? And what about the bullet? What about the
every
sweat?
single time? So it's like I'm over there talking to somebody else and I can hear them like talking. I'm like, are they talking about Total Recall?
Yeah,
like they're arguing about Total Recall.
Because he wants to hold on to the dream. and that's what the ego trip was all about.
Right.
Remember when he asked him, he says, so if I buy this trip, the memory implants,
you will actually believe
yes,
that.
You will actually believe.
Nothing went wrong. No. That's how it was supposed to go.
And they told him, he picked secret agent. That he wanted to be a secret agent. He even picked what the girl would look like that he would meet.
Yeah.
And that's what she
looked like. Picked everything ahead of time.
And then they're showing the damn Martian ruins from the alien Martian ruins. They show it scroll by when they're loading it in this thing. And he says,
want it to be.
You will absolutely believe it.
Yeah, they want it to be as realistic as possible.
So they fucking layered the fantasy right in with his reality.
Right.
That it went wrong. No, I actually was a secret agent. That's why I selected all that shit.
Right.
Because I knew deep down I was a secret agent. So that was.
That's what's so awesome about that movie.
That's dicks,
that
man. That's that's the kind of shit Philip K. Dicks would come up with. I don't think the original story is exactly like that, but it was in the spirit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the spirit of Dicks.
It's just one dick.
I'm okay, Dick. Is it a dick or Dicks?
It's just one dick.
Zach, is it dick or dicks?
It's a single dick. It's just one single dick. That's fucking funny. Yeah, Ben says, you can argue the ending of Total Recall both ways. Yeah, and I do kind of feel like, well, that's what's so great about that movie is that, you can read it either way. It's
What's
fine.
more likely?
I think it's more likely that...
Yeah, he got what he paid for.
Yeah, that was what he paid for. I don't think anything went wrong. I don't think anything like that. But, I mean, yeah, you could argue that, but it's like, I don't think that.
No.
I think it...
See, not only was it going to convince him, it was going to convince you, the viewer, that shit really happened. It didn't, though. That was part of the ego trip. He took a vacation from himself and became a secret agent on Mars.
Sure.
Great movie. And it's mostly great because of the writing. The special effects, the sets were kind of cheesy looking, but, for the time it was good.
Yeah, what year did that even come out?
I forgot. Maybe 87.
I thought it was 87,
Yeah.
Yeah, YP posted identity ambiguity is Dick's thing.
Yeah.
Zach says, all the dicks that can fit in an orifice I won't name, and you know it, Tom.
Dang. Damn, we got to get this on video.
We are, kind of.
We got to get this on video.
What, all the dicks going in an orifice?
We're gonna have
the camera went off, Larry.
Zach star and direct in that bitch, and we will distribute.
Yeah, okay. We're gonna have a whole distribution company at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I might need another drink. I feel like.
Yeah.
I'm getting empty.
Yes.
Yeah, John Gore said Michael Ironside was great in it too. I love Michael Ironside. I kind of feel like he doesn't get the I don't know. I was gonna say I guess he doesn't get the recognition he deserves, but maybe he does. I love all his character actors, man. I never really liked all the kind of like A-list, actors and actresses. Because they all seem kind of like interchangeable. So I'm always like interested in like character actors, you know. Camp Guys bring up Monsters Ball. That was a great fucking movie. I've only seen it once or twice though. Like I think I saw it in the theater when it came out, and I might have seen it one more time after that. But that's another one I definitely need to watch. And I think somebody brought up like Sling Blade earlier too, which is also a fantastic movie. I don't think we ever review Sling Blade? Does anybody remember? I thought we did, but now that I'm thinking about it, maybe we didn't. And maybe we should, because that's another fucking great movie, is fucking Sling Blade. Oof. Zach said, I first learned who Michael Ironside was because he voiced Sam Fisher in the Splinter Cell games. Yeah, I mean, the dude has been in, like, tons of shit. I mean, he's been in tons of shit.
Okay,
Thank you. And then what were you talking about before about Peter Boyle? Dude. Oh, talking about the Deer Hunter. I think that's another one we never did review. I just watched it a couple of years ago, but yeah, when was Total Recall? 86. I thought it was 87, but now that I'm thinking about it, it might have been a little bit later. It might have been 1990. Now that I'm thinking about it, although I might be wrong, but I just thought it was 1990. And then yeah, Conan the Destroyer. Yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. I don't think we ever did Taxi Driver either. We did do Running Man. I know we did that. Which if you know, maybe most people know, but that's a Stephen King adaptation. But it's a lot different than the story. Not super different, but it's a fun movie though. I think the story is a lot more dystopian.
Which story?
The Running Man.
A Running Man, yeah.
Whereas the movie is kind of a lot more fun or like funny.
Yeah, I liked The Running Man.
I did too.
I remembered a lot about it, you know what I mean? It stuck with me over the years. These are, of course, you know, movies from our childhood, you know. I don't call them childhood, but
I was gonna say it was my teenage years.
Yeah, teen years. You're like, fucking, oh man, you love.
Because I was a teenager in the 80s. Like, yeah. I graduated in 1990.
Yeah. I still kind of think of it as my childhood, but yeah, it was fucking.
It is kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the great thing about it is the timing was right on it. The tone was right on all those Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Very few of them were misses. Raw Deal was a miss. I own it.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
Yeah, Raw Deal was a miss.
I didn't love it.
But most of them were real good. The tone was fucking great. And they were taken, as a young man, they're taking young men on these fucking mental journeys down these fucking crazy fucking situations. And Arnold, you know, Jen saying he can't act. A lot of people say, well, he can't. He could act. He was acting exactly like we expected him to act. He became a thing. You know what I mean? And you expected him to be like that.
Well, I mean, he's not
paying for.
He's not an actor in the sense of...
He's a performer.
Yeah,
he's performing.
It's two different things. Because somebody that's an actor, I expect that person to disappear into the character. I want to forget that that's an actor. That's kind of what their job is. You're playing a role. I want to see that role. I don't want to see the actor. Which is why if you get too famous, that can really hamper you in that regard, because it's like everybody's just, oh, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, oh, it's Tom Cruise. They're just being that persona, and they're not vanishing into the role like an actor would. That's what I mean.
Yeah,
but it's two different things. Yeah, it depends on like what you.
It's kind of like Tom Cruise. People weren't really paying to see him vanish. They're paying to see that same motherfucker again, do that same thing.
Yeah,
over and over.
which that's
he was like an icon, he was an avatar.
Yeah,
it'd be a good way to put it, or something. I don't know. Icon would be a better word. You wanted to see that same character again. Over and over and over again in these different situations.
It's like, we want more of that.
Oh, and you know he's kind of playing himself. Or, partly. Or at least what you see of as himself. Because, I've listened to a lot of interviews, what he was really like. He's a goofball in real life. Wasn't a real serious guy. Fucking around a lot. And Jen has said it before, kind of said it. His on-screen persona was kind of not sexy. He was not. I wouldn't call him like a hot guy, even though he's fucking as good looking as he was. You just look at him. This motherfucker was Mr. Universe, And I think he did Olympia too, or maybe did he do Mr. Universe? I think it was just Olympia, but his chemistry was not a sexual chemistry on film.
No,
it was not. But women that knew him said he was fucking addictive. That you got a taste of that, you weren't going anywhere. You said you couldn't stay away from him. So, that's not a reflection on him as a man.
I'll be the judge of that.
Evidently, he was kind of like, he didn't want his roles to be romantic or be like that at all. They were just kind of like symbolic, mythical kind of characers, Which
but you said he's more like an avatar than a person.
Type. Yeah. He had only a couple misses. Collateral Damage sucked. I think a lot of it had to do with timing, and it was about terrorism. And it just was. Ugh.
Well, some of his later movies I didn't like End of Days and.
End of Days was mediocre. It had great special effects, but the story really didn't pull me in. The last of a fucking good Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that was like in the Arnold Schwarzenegger brand, that tone, like Total Recall and Terminator, and what it would have been. The Sixth Day. I like that one.
Yeah, that one was alright.
And I think a lot of people have forgotten it.
That was the clone one, right?
Yeah, and it had fucking...
yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah, and that was like going back in time. That was like the last real Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. Like a classic movie. But it was... What was that? Maybe 2006, maybe?
Yeah. I was going to say it's fairly recent, but it was like, well, no, it's not that recent. It was
had
like...
Michael Rooker in it.
And we always love Michael Rooker.
Yeah, he was in it.
I like Michael Rooker and everything.
And it had that strange sci-fi tone, but it was slightly upbeat, but sinister at the same time. I liked that. I thought it was a great movie. I own it. But that era passed. You really can't make those kind of movies anymore.
Well, I mean, you can, but
people wouldn't really
not
care.
Quite the same. Yeah, it's not really.
They were better in the past.
Well, and I think the reason that is because they were better in the past, so it's like there's not really much point in making them anymore, because it's just kind of like it would just be like ripping off like the old ones, because they've already made them, so it's like why make it again?
Yeah, I listen to some of these other channels and they're bemoaning how much modern movies, how a lot of these modern Hollywood movies suck. They do suck. The thing is, though, man, there's so many good movies in the past that you can watch. And you can own them.
I mean, that's the thing. That's why I never piss and moan about it. Because, one, not all modern movies suck. No. It's like there's lots of good ones. There's millions of movies out there, seriously. Like, it's not necessarily a big blockbuster. But it's like, if you look around, there's good shit everywhere.
Yeah.
But, there's not just that. So it's just kind of like and not just movies, but books and like all kind of shit. But then there's like a lot of stuff in the past, like I said, going back like a fucking century. There's all kind of shit you can go back to. So I'll never run out of good shit to watch or read. So I'm never going to I'm not going to piss and moan about.
Even some of the newer shit has some of that old fashioned charm. And it was great. One was a French movie. It had Michael Ironside in it called Turbo Kid. Loved it. And that was kind of like
I thought it was Australian, but.
I thought it was French.
Australian or Kiwi.
Was it?
Or New Zealand, maybe.
I
can't remember.
For some reason I thought it was French.
It's on Tubi, I think.
Yeah.
It was last time I looked.
It's all in English, but I want to see. I've only seen it once. I fucking loved it.
I really like Turbo Kid.
It was kind of like an '80s movie.
The same guy that was in Turbo Kid, like one of the main actors, was also in this great horror movie, which I think was Australian. called Bloody Hell, which you might like, actually. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It was on Shudder. I don't know if it's still on there anymore, but it's fairly recent. I think it came out in 2017, 2018, and it's fantastic. It's like I guess it's like a black comedy, but it's really, really gruesome, and I really dug it.
If y'all haven't seen Turbo Kid, check it out.
Turbo Kid's really good, too.
It's action comedy. Imagine it's a post-apocalyptic movie done in an 80s style, kind of like Cherry 2000 or something.
Yeah, it reminded me very strongly of Cherry 2000.
Post-apocalyptic.
Or A Man and His Dog, or that kind
Boy
of...
and His Dog,
yeah, Boy and His Dog, sorry.
And it's post-apocalyptic, but it's a post-apocalyptic superhero movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
It's good. I think we did a review of it, actually.
Yeah, I think maybe we did. Great movie. I own it, I think.
Yeah, I think you do. Like, it might be on Tubi. I'm pretty sure it's on Tubi for free.
No, I don't own it.
John Robertson says, Jenny, I recommend a novel, Psycho Sanitarium by Chet Williamson. It follows the time when Norman Bates is in the asylum. I'm watching Psycho 3 now, and I'm like, please leave the mentally ill man alone, please. I love all the Psycho movies. I think we did kind of like a big review because we have the 4-movie Psycho set. I also have the Bates Motel series, which I'm still on season 2. Unfortunately, I'm trying to like get through it, but we did like a big review of all 4 of the Psycho movies, and I will go to bat for all the Psycho sequels. Honestly, I think Psycho 2 is one of the most underrated horror sequels ever made. It's a great movie. All of the Psycho sequels are good, but Psycho 2 is fantastic. I love that fucking movie. And I will definitely go to bat for that one. Because, you know. Honestly, like, I think other than... Because we've talked about this before, but as far as, like, horror franchises go, where, like, all the movies were good, I thought all the Psycho movies were good, and all of the Phantasm movies are good. Whereas, like, some of the other bigger horror franchises, obviously, like Nightmare on Elm Street or Halloween or whatever, it's like some of those were, like, hit or miss. But all of the Phantasm movies were, all 5 of them were good.
They're all good. That's great.
All 4 of the Psycho movies were good.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, Ben said that Turbo Kid was shot in Australia.
Yeah, I thought it was. Because, like I said, I was pretty sure the same...
I was thinking it was French, or the director was French or something. Maybe.
No, it's Australia. Oh. Yeah, see, I thought it was crazy for a second.
Manny Nicole said she just did a big order on Shein because of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you'll like it.
We get a lot of shit there.
We might make an order this week, maybe. We'll see. Because I want some stuff from there.
I mean, we'll see. I'm kind of scared because it's like now that I'm back working without a net again.
Yeah, don't worry about it. We'll make it.
But like I said, once I crunched the numbers and I was just like, well, technically, we only have to get 48 paid minutes a day.
Yeah.
To make as much money as I would make at my job.
We have to get 48 paid minutes within about 8 hours.
Yeah, I mean, you can be on as long as you need to, to get that many minutes. But the
rate that we do it, we usually, at the hourly rate that we go by, we can get that done usually in about 6 hours.
Yeah.
On averages. So it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I think and we can go on and off as necessary. Like, we can go on for an hour or two, and if it's slow, we can just be like, fuck it, we'll come back on later on or whatever. Yeah,
Mandy, when you're dealing with Shein, you want to spend at least $100. That way you can get the free shipping, and they got a good tracking. They'll even send you an email when it's going to be delivered that day. And I saw who delivered it. It was just a dude in a car with his girlfriend.
Takes about a week. But
about a week, yeah.
I think usually when we have ordered from there, it usually takes about a week.
I was like, who's delivering this shit? And just saw a dude in his car filled with packages with his girlfriend next to him, and they just came up, here he is. So they're hiring local delivery people. But I
got a whole wardrobe from there.
Yeah.
For like literally
a couple $100.
Yeah, maybe $300.
$300, yeah.
And that's including like not just dresses, pants, tops, and stuff like that, but that's shit like wigs, necklaces, nails, shit like that, like accessories, shoes,
sex toys.
Yeah. Although some of the sex toys I got off of Amazon.
That's for the show.
Yeah.
But no, this is actually Shein right here, man.
Yeah, this is. So, well,
the quality's
this
good.
Necklace is too.
Yeah, that's next. The quality's good.
This wig is not. I had this before.
And the boots, the quality of the goth boots on there is about the same as Demonia. So it's a good deal.
Yeah, I got a really nice pair of like Mary Jane type shoes that are like super shiny, and they have like a ankle strap, and yeah, they're cool looking. Yeah, she said she spent about $120. Says it's gonna be here on the 9th, which is about a week. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, and I think she's only worn about 1/3 of the stuff that she's bought.
I haven't had time to wear all this stuff.
Yeah.
And some of it was just like a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
I had to buy like one of those rolling wardrobe thingies like you see like backstage at plays and shit like that. And it's just and I had to buy like a bunch more hangers because I didn't have enough. Yeah. So I have like a whole fucking wardrobe in there. Yeah. And like I said, there's like several outfits in there that I still haven't worn yet.
And all those cool goth stockings are all good.
Okay, yeah, I still got a bunch of packages of those that I haven't.
With the garters that are all built in and everything, and the one-piece fucking bodysuits for women and shit. You know, basically porn outfits. Yeah, they're only like $2.
Yeah, we got like all the work outfits.
Yeah, it's work.
They're not all black either. We got some like I got a hot pink one, and I got like
rainbow
one that's like rainbow.
Yeah, green.
Did we get a green one?
No,
I don't think we got a green one. I remember the rainbow one and the hot pink one, and we got a couple black ones too.
A couple pair of shoes.
Yeah.
Goth shoes.
I really like those shoes that I got there.
They're about like Demonia. They're a little bit lighter. I think the platforms on them, aren't they a little lighter than, or is that the same weight?
Probably about the same.
About the same.
I mean, they seem like decent quality.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, Manny Nicole said, "Yeah, I'm revamping my wardrobe." Yeah, I was too.
Yeah, just like made like 3. If you make like 3 orders of 100, you'll have a shit ton of clothes. I'm going at it next. I haven't bought much from there. The men's selection isn't quite as good, but there's some shit I want to buy on there.
I still haven't tried it. One of my favorite things that we bought recently that I haven't really got to wear yet was it's like a floor length red dress, but it's like see-through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you get you wear like a bra and underwear underneath it. No, I haven't worn it yet.
Yeah. What's funny about that
is cool looking.
It's got a pattern on it that looks like it's sticking to your body. It's even got fucking like booty cheeks.
Remember
and it's got some
but it's not super obvious.
It's not real obvious.
But
it's shaded.
Right.
They've shaded and highlighted the thing to make a woman, make her look more voluptuous and more like. It
looks
popping.
really good. I really when I tried it on, I really liked it a lot.
Yeah.
So but I haven't worn it out yet. Right. I don't know. I mean, now I might have the balls to wear that out. Mm-hmm. But
wear some booty shorts underneath it.
I might have the balls to wear that out.
Yeah. Wear it to the club.
I could wear. Well, we're going to Memento Mori on Sunday night. Maybe I could wear. I'll see how it looks.
Yeah, see how it looks.
I mean, I might not even need a corset under that.
No,
I wouldn't think.
The whole thing with that is that the less you have on, the better. That's the idea behind that.
Because last time I went to Barbarella,
just wait another month and you'll fit it.
Although, like I said, I tried it on like several weeks ago and it looked good then. So I was like, and I've lost some weight since then. So it'll probably. But last time we went to Memento, I didn't even wear a corset. I wore that dress with the and I think we did the show beforehand, so we probably saw it. But it was where it's cut out on the side.
Yeah, it looked good.
Yeah, and I had a lot of compliments about that.
Yeah.
I had a lot of even like the didn't Lorraine, who is the owner's wife, said to you, it's like whatever it is she's doing, tell her to keep doing it.
Yeah, whatever she's doing, keep doing it.
So but we'll see. Maybe I'll wear that. Maybe I'll wear that red thing. We'll see how it looks. Because I have been wanting to wear that somewhere because I do like it a lot.
It's sexy.
Yeah, it's cool looking. I like it.
Yeah.
And I think when it's cheap, like how much was it?
$8.
It was $8.
Yeah.
$8.
Yeah, you guys are probably seeing these ads. Man, it's like we're fucking advertising for Shein. But you're probably seeing all these advertisements on YouTube for fucking Temu.
Yeah, because their ads are everywhere.
Temu, it's like Temu, but the prices are even lower because they don't have any advertising, just word of mouth advertising, and they use local delivery. They just hired some subcontractor who's going to deliver your packages, but you can still track it, and they sign it up. It's been reliable. It takes about a week. It's not like Amazon, but it's a lot cheaper, and the quality and the women's quality and selection is excellent. The
I've been very happy with most of the. I mean, because I was expecting it was going to be like Wish, you know what I mean, where it's like, like half the time the shit would be okay, and then half the time the shit would be like made of paper or didn't look like the picture or anything like that.
Totally normal, good quality.
But everything I've got from there has actually been like really good
get
quality.
Up there and just stand up and show them that.
And I have a dress. This was from the Fairy Core collection.
Yeah.
I have this one, which has, what does this have on it? Roses or flowers or some shit like that?
Skulls and.
But and skulls and shit like that. But see, that's like that. And I have another one like this that's green. That's like an olive green. What?
Show them the shoulders. The shoulders are.
They're like poofy like.
They're like poofy shoulders. Put it in the camera. Put a shoulder in the camera.
Oh, what, like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what the shoulders look like. And here's the thing. Stand up.
What?
What's cool about these is that, show this to the camera.
What?
This, it's actually adjustable.
Yeah.
There's a tie right here.
Yeah.
As you tighten it up, it goes
so
up like an accordion.
you can have it as short as you want.
You can have whatever length you want.
Right.
Or you can make it long, so it's adjustable.
Yeah, you can.
It'll like $10.
It'll go down to your knees, or if you want to make it like short, like a mini skirt, you can like.
Yeah.
You can tie the sides.
Like,
and so I have one like this, and I have one that's like kind of like an olive green that has like moths on it.
Yeah. Now back in the day, let's say you went to back in the 90s or something, because that's like almost a 90s style.
Yeah.
So you went to say like Hot Topic at the mall. They charge you $40 for that back in the 90s. You could get it through Shein for about $11. It might have been 14 maximum.
Yeah, I don't think it was anymore.
Some of these shirts are like $3.
Yeah.
You're like, man, it's gotta be like shit. You get it, and it's like a fucking awesome little chick's shirt. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a half shirt, belly shirt type thing, with a star on it and stuff. It's cute stuff.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of different collections. I love shopping for women's clothes, but I can't wear them, of course.
Yeah, you're a little too big.
Yeah, it would look good. But the men's stuff, the only thing that's good there is kind of like sportswear, muscle shirts, fucking gym shirts, shit like that. The rest of it is all kind of very like Asian preppy, or Asian fucking looking video game player, or what do you call them? Like something out of a video game character, like
yeah, which
hooded jackets with slits, and it's just it's not. If I was 20, maybe. But at my age, you just really can't get away with that kind of shit. It would look stupid anyway. Skinny jeans and shit like that. Nah.
October Reed said, "What is the tattoo on your arm?" On this arm, this is kind of like a like an owl goddess kind of situation. This was actually our friend Jacob. I just let him go hog wild on the shit and let him draw it. So he just put that on there. And then this arm is Anubis. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh, fucking
anime.
Mandy's going, I'm so excited.
Yeah, it's always cool like when we get like a shipment from there.
Yeah. It's gonna come in a big plastic bag. Maybe and sometimes the shipment comes in 2 or 3 pieces. Because if it's not in stock, they got to hold it back, but they'll send you the rest of the shipment first.
Most of the time
Most of the time it's in one, but sometimes it's 2.
Yeah.
But that's good because they're trying to get you what they have as quickly as they possibly can.
Ben said, "Did it hurt?" Not really. And this one in particular, like I said, our friend Jacob did this one because he was a tattoo artist, and this took 10 hours. Normally, a tattoo this size, they wouldn't do it in one sitting. They would usually do the outline at the first sitting, and then you would go back and get the shading done. But I didn't really want to go like do it in 2 goes, so I was just like, nah, fuck it, just do the whole thing. So he actually sat there and did the whole thing, and it took 10 hours. And it didn't hurt. I have a pretty high pain tolerance. So it was just kind of irritating. But after a while, like after 20, 30 minutes, you don't really feel it anymore because you just kind of get used to it, you know? Not like, I mean, I say I have a high pain tolerance, but then there was that whole nipple piercing situation. But that's kind of different because that's not like getting a tattoo, especially one that's takes 10 hours. it's after a while, it's just kind of like, it's not sharp pain. It's just kind of like irritating pain. It's like a sunburn. It kind of feels like a sunburn. So after a while, you just kind of get used to it because it's just kind of like the same thing, like over and over, and you're like, oh, that's what it's like. So you're just like used to it. But the piercing was different because that was just kind of like one concentrated pain. So that hurt a lot. But tattoos have never bothered me. It doesn't hurt. But yeah, I don't know. This is probably not super legal, but he came to our house. He was a friend of ours, and he came to our house and did the tattoo. This was years and years ago. And he did the outline, and I don't remember how long the outline took. But he was like, well, he's like, normally, you do the outline and then you let that heal up a little bit, and then you do the shading and the color and everything. And he's like, but I could do it now. It's like, if you don't want to, if you don't want to wait, or you don't want me to have to come out here again or something like that. And I was just like, you know what, fuck it. Let's just do it. So I sat there for 10 hours, and he sat there for 10 hours and did the whole thing. So, yeah, Mandy said, yeah, it's irritating skin pain. Not too bad. My tummy hurt and my chest and neck, but most others are okay. Yeah, it's once you get in there, and because it's mostly just a constant, like, just annoying pain.
Like a buzzing, scratching.
Yeah, like a buzzing, scratching. Or like I said, it kind of feels like a bad sunburn.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, after it's done.
It kind of feels like that. So, but once you get used to it, it's not. Because I was saying that it's like nothing like the nipple piercing. That was the whole different.
Yeah.
That was a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But that was traumatic for you as well.
Yeah. Man, fucking, I thought piercing a nipple would be like sticking a needle through me to give yourself an injection.
Because we do that all the time, but yeah.
No, it's like sticking a damn sharp iron bar through a bunch of fucking crunching fucking... I don't know.
I still can't believe we fucking did that. I still can't believe it.
It cracked and popped.
I still can't believe
and I was like, oh shit, man.
Like, I was thinking about it like a few days after. I'm like, did we just fucking do that? We just fucking did that. We're crazy.
Went through one, and then you only had like a 10-minute break and did the other one. And she almost didn't want to do it, the second one. I said, no, we're going to get this out of the way. She was crying already. Oh my God, this is going to be...
She's like, this is going to suck. I know.
And
I really didn't want to do it.
Since all that, I've been noticing fucking... Some of these fucking porn chicks, they only have one bar.
And we're like,
and I was like,
we see you.
We know what happened there. We know exactly what happened.
I kind of feel, I understand though. I understand.
That is a fucking,
I don't blame them.
And that was the first piercing I've done.
I don't blame them.
I showed them to my buddy Bill, who did it for a living. He goes, God, that's good for a first attempt. He says, that's right. Because
you did a good job.
They're straight and they're deep enough set in back. So they're not hanging off the front, you know what I mean? So they kind of push in a little bit. They're sexy. They're cool.
I really like how they turned out. I really do.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of like, wow, that was really very painful.
Yeah, I bought the kit to do it and studied it. But seeing somebody else do it on videos, so I can know.
It's not the same as like doing it. No, obviously.
Because you got to stick a needle through there first, and then you take the bar and put it back in the needle and push the needle out with the bar so one replaces the other. And it's just fucking, the first time I did it, the needle I put through was too small. Yeah. So I couldn't get the bar to go in after follow. Yeah. So I wasn't thinking, I should have just taken the bigger needle and pushed the smaller needle out. Instead, I pulled the fucking little needle out and had to redo it.
And did it over.
I should have just fucking used the bigger needle and pushed the small needle out, which would have been, you wouldn't have even felt that. Because it was already through. But you see, you were so uncomfortable, I was fucking kind of like,
well, I was
kind of like.
Well, I was afraid because
wasn't thinking clearly.
I had started to black out.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that.
Women can handle a lot of pain, more than a man, really. Women can handle a lot of pain.
Mandy just said, working in a shop for years, girls always say through them both. Most men only got one though.
Yeah.
I believe it. And honestly, most tattoo artists I've known have said the same thing, that girls handled it better. Well, women in general tend to have a higher pain tolerance than men in general.
Yeah.
Not everybody's different, like individuals, but
they were selected that way through natural selection, having to go through childbirth and everything.
Yeah, which is like the fucking worst.
Yeah. Well, pain sets off too many fucking warning signs in a man's fucking mind. He wants to start becoming violent. So That's part of the reason why they put dudes under anesthesia or hold dudes down or punch them to knock them out back in before anesthesia was around.
Cry.
No, they'll jump up and try to fight. Get the fuck off me. Yeah. Even if it's saving his life. It's usually it's amputation. That was the old school way. You never seen that?
Yeah.
Fucking battlefield amputation. They'd send you to the damn barber. The barber was the surgeon.
Yeah, that's how they did it back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll cut your hair and put some leeches on you and cut some shit off and
cut your leg off.
Hope you don't get gangrene.
Yeah.
But
usually they held the dude down and the dude fucking wrapped something around his knuckles.
Give him some whiskey.
Boom! And fucking knock him out, and then they cut the leg off. And hopefully they got the fucking leg off before he woke up or came to. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Using a bone saw on a dude that's basically half awake.
What are you doing down there?
Yeah. Hit him again.
Ghetto anesthesia.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I mean.
And they had to make a slit, pull the skin back so when they made the cut, there'd be extra skin that they could pull over and fold and then...
Well, yeah.
You can't cut right there.
Well, yeah, you can't just leave it like
about
that.
3 inches up in there.
You can't leave it like that.
Right.
You can't just leave an open wound that large.
No. Well, you can't just cut a bone and then have no meat.
That's what I'm saying.
To cover it. So
yeah.
You have to have more meat than bone, so you got to cut it in a couple inches.
It's harder than it seems.
Yeah.
Not that I've done it personally.
And
I'm just
they
saying.
said what made a good surgeon was how fast he could work. That's all it was.
Well, yeah, getting it over with really quick. Yeah. Can you imagine, before they even had fucking... Because, man, the anesthesia they have nowadays, when I had my fucking surgery, I don't remember a goddamn thing.
Yeah. We're real lucky.
It worked really good. Yeah. I'm just laying there on the table with my little blanket and my little footy socks on. And they're just okay, count backwards. And I was 190. You know what I mean? And then, however long it was, I woke up and I was it feels like something's sitting on my chest. And then I fell asleep again. And then 6 hours later, I was fine. But, yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, individuals are different. But in my experience, women do tend to tolerate pain better. Yeah. I've always tolerated pain better. I think other than before I got the nipple piercing, I think the worst pain I ever experienced, which is weird and random, but when I was younger, I was a preteen or a young teen, and I used to have constant ear infections. I felt like I always had fucking ear infections, my ears were always bleeding or something. So I went to a doctor, and they had to take a sample of whatever it was that was going on in my ears. And the doctor put this long metal thing in my ear. And it seemed like it went all the way to the middle of my fucking brain. I know it didn't, but that's what it felt like. It felt like he stuck it just all the way in there. And that... I can't even describe what that felt like. It was just the weirdest. And my mom was with me, and she said, you didn't scream or yell or say anything, but she said the color just fell out of your face. She's like, I saw it happen. So, until I got the nipple piercing, I think that was the worst pain I'd ever experienced. That thing, stuck in my ear. That felt like it went all the way into my brain. But, other than that, I haven't, luckily... I've never broken any bones. I sprained an ankle real bad one time. I slipped off the steps at my grandmother's house. I thought I broke it because it made a horrible noise. It went pop. And I was just kind of oh shit, well, I broke that. But it didn't hurt at the time. I was just kind of oh, I think I just broke that because it made a horrible sound. And when I went to the doctor, they did put a cast on it. But they said, well, it's just a really bad sprain. It's, you're lucky you didn't break it. Because I have big fucking horse bones. But, honestly, I had that cast on for an hour, and the place I lived at the time had stairs, and I got so sick of sliding up and down the stairs on my butt that after a week I cut the cast off myself, because I was fuck this shit, it's fine, I'll just put an ace bandage on it, you know what I mean? That's kind of, I'm like, I'll just deal with it myself. I'm not worried about it.
That is Mandy.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah. I just subscribed to you, Mandy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. October 8th said I was born with bad ear. I had a hole in my eardrum. It sucked, but now I don't care. Yeah, I always had ear problems growing up. Now it's just like, I'm kind of half deaf, but again, I'm kind of used to it. It blows, but what are you going to do? Yeah, Mandy says, hey, yeah.
It's from several years ago, but...
Oh, okay.
You're going to be looking the same 2-3 years ago.
Zach said, worst pain I ever had was when I had a dry socket after I had my wisdom teeth out. They put me on Oxy at the time, and I could have got addicted to it, but the pain was so bad it just evened out. Honestly, you know what? And I've heard that, like, with people's teeth and stuff, but I, for whatever reason, I guess, like, when my wisdom teeth grew in, I guess my mouth was big enough to accommodate them because I never had to have them, like, removed or anything. I did have a tooth in the back that broke and, like, came out, but it didn't hurt because it happened to, like, over a kind of a period of time. But I've heard that people that had, like, really, you know, like a bunch of shit done to their teeth, that it was, like, really painful. But I never had anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the worst pain you've ever experienced, Tom?
I don't know. Whenever I got seriously hurt, I didn't feel it. Broke my arm and didn't feel it. Just my arm was hanging.
I think that happens a lot if the injury is you know, significant enough. I think your brain is just like, nope. Just to, you know, and that's kind of a mercy, actually.
Yeah.
My grandmother told me the same thing, that, you know, she's passed away now, but she was mowing the lawn one time, and she ran over something that popped out and, like, cut a huge, like, thing out of her leg. You know what I mean? And she said she didn't even feel it. She's like, the only reason that she knew something was wrong because she just kept on mowing the lawn. And then she's like, why is my shoe, like, am I stepping in mud? Yeah. And then she looked down and her shoe was full of blood.
Ran over her own foot, huh?
Well, no, she ran over something that came back and, like, sliced her leg open.
Yeah. When I had that motorcycle accident, put me in a coma, didn't feel anything. Woke up, it was several weeks later. When I came off the bike a couple years back, at maybe about 65 or 70, remember when I hit that cat? Yeah. Didn't feel it until later. Oh,
you felt it later.
Yeah.
I remember that.
If I ever get into a fight, I never even feel a single blow. If I get hit in the head, don't even feel it. It's just a white flash and a dud. It's more like I hear it and you feel it. You just can't feel anything. Trying to think what else.
It's weird because, like I said, and Zach just pointed this out, said, have you ever had that thing happen where you get a cut and don't realize it until you see it, and only then does it start hurting? Yeah. I had the same thing happen, like, when I was in junior high. My dad took me to school on the back of his motorcycle. My mom was so mad. Like, I guess he didn't ask permission before he did this. I was, like, 14 or something. And I had never ridden on the back of a motorcycle before. It was terrifying. But we got to the junior high. It was fine. And I got off the motorcycle, and my dad didn't tell me that you had to get off on a certain side to prevent yourself from getting burned on the tailpipe. Well, what happened was that my leg pressed against the tailpipe and burned a huge thing, like, on my calf. But I didn't feel it at the time that it happened. So, like, I get off and I go to class, and then, like, later on, I happen to look down at my leg, and there is a massive, like, oval blister. It was, like, sticking out, like, that far. And I was just like, what the fuck? And that, like, I didn't feel it at first. Like, I didn't feel it when it happened. I didn't feel it later on. But I just, like, looked down and saw it, and I was like, what the fuck happened there? And then I thought back, and I was like, oh, shit, I must have got off on the wrong side of the motorcycle and, like, burned my leg on the tailpipe. And it got bad. It was, like, I think it was a 2nd-degree burn. Of course, I didn't go to the hospital for that either, because I never did. But, yeah, so I just, like, put ointment and shit on it, and I had a scar for a long time. I think it's gone now, but I had a scar for years and years, like this big oval scar, like, on the side of my leg. But I didn't feel that when it happened either. And that was, like, a second-degree burn. If you're not looking at it, I guess. Which maybe that's your body's way of keeping you from getting too traumatized. Maybe. Maybe the reason that I felt the nipple piercing was because I knew what was happening. You know what I mean? It's not like it was sudden. We were prepared for it. So. And even then, I mean, I was expecting it to hurt. It hurt worse than I was expecting. But. Yeah.
Come here. This cat's getting fatter.
Pookie.
Getting fatter.
Don't call her fat.
Maybe she's lost a few ounces.
What's up, Pookie? Look, everybody wants to see you. She's like, yeah, I'm done with this shit.
He's like, I just want attention.
Yeah. Especially now that we have the other kitty. Yeah. Little Bambi, as we call her. Dakota is the name that she came with. But we started calling her Bambi. But, or Bam Bam, or Little Bam.
I'm going to slow that light down.
What light?
Back behind
me. Oh, right, I got you.
Going too fast. That's because we lost power today.
Yeah, because the power went out because of the storm. But
and I don't think it's cycling through all the colors.
It might not be. Yeah, so they're talking about, everybody's talking about their worst pain now. Yeah. Mandy said, my worst pain was stepping on a nail. Ooh-ha. Went through the top of it and I passed out. Yeah, I don't blame you. I was 12 and at a birthday party. Someone's buff military dad carried me across the street back home. My little brother stepped on a soldering iron. I remember that. He screamed his fucking head off. Oh my god. He was like little. He was like a toddler. Ben said I got a fucking awful burn on my forearm when I fell asleep in a chair with a blow heater blowing on me. Holy crap. And then Tammy said, gave birth to 2 kids, no meds. My tattoos were nothing compared to that. Yeah, I bet. That's one thing that I'm kind of glad I never experienced. We were talking about that the other day. I was just kind of like, I was pretty sure, and I'm old now. I'll be 51 this month, actually. It's September now, so I'll be 51 at the end of this month. But it's just like, even when I was 15, 16 years old, I was pretty aware that I was like, I don't think I want to ever have kids. And and it's just like everything else, like your family's, you'll change your mind when you get older, blah, blah, blah. But I never did. But, I don't know. I'm just not cut out for that, I guess. And I knew that at a pretty young age. I was just kind of like, I'm pretty sure that's not for me. And like I said, I was familiar with the shit because, my parents because I had 3 younger siblings. I had a fuck ton of cousins, and my parents ran a daycare center for a long time. Like, they ran a daycare center, like, away, and then, like, my mom ran one in the house, too, like, for a time. So I was always around kids. And, even when I was a kid, and I was just kind of like, look, I'm a kid too, but it's like, I don't like being around other kids. And I can't deal with this. I know it's different when it's yours. Everybody says that, but it's just kind of like, I didn't want to, me and Tom were talking about this last week. I said, I didn't want to get this because the thing about having kids is that you can't really take it back. So it's like, if you're ambivalent about it, you're like, oh, well, I don't know. Well, maybe it'll all work out when I have them. But it's like, but if it doesn't, and you have a kid, and then later on you're like, this isn't really for me, I don't really like it, there's nothing you can do about it. You're just kind of stuck. So I was just kind of like, I would have rather err on the side of caution. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad I kind of did.
Put some more ice in this.
Yeah, the ice melts like so fast. We have the fan on and shit.
The ice isn't cold enough.
I guess. Yeah, Zach says, I think the second worst I had was when I had food poisoning so bad it was coming out both ends and my belly was messed up for a few weeks after. Food poisoning is the fucking worst. I got salmonella once from, I think it was at Wet n Wild, which is like a water park. It's not there anymore, but it was in Orlando. And we used to go all the time with my parents' daycare. Like, we would go a couple times a summer. And I got some chicken strips there for lunch, and I ate them. And then when I was halfway through eating them, I realized that they were undercooked. So, yeah, I got salmonella from that. And that really says salmonella is no fun. Thank you. Oh, you're like handing it to me? That's nice. John Gora said broken ribs suck. Yeah, I've never had any broken ribs.
Right, every time you breathe.
Yeah, that's what he said. It makes breathing rough. I have actually never broken a bone in my whole entire life. Isn't that crazy?
No. It's not crazy. A lot of people have gone through without breaking a bone.
Everybody I knew had broken at least one bone. Usually their arm, like while they were playing, like falling off some playground shit.
Yeah, maybe when you're a kid, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But if you live a civilized life, a lot of people could get through it. I broke a bone and didn't know it. I broke my little pinky toe one time, and didn't know it.
I might have done that without knowing it, but
yeah, they X-rayed my foot and it says, "When did you break your toe?" And I said, "What?"
No.
I didn't know anything about it. Break my toe. Said,
it's the little toe.
Yeah,
it doesn't do anything.
I kind of vaguely remember that I had a pain there a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like, ow, don't touch that. You know what I mean? But it's a small bone.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's a bullshit toe. Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't break it really, but I did have like a hairline crack in my tailbone from like falling on a. Well, it was like I'd been sitting on a stool and I kind of like slipped and like fell and it kind of like cracked my tailbone. So I did have to like have the donut pillow for a while. That's when I was in high school, I think, and that hurt a lot. But let me see. October 8th said I'll see you two later. I have to go to work. Okay. Well, have a good time.
Does anybody have any questions or anything? Anything you guys want us to talk about? Maybe other shows, other cases, movies.
Zach said there was also a couple times I almost suffocated choking on candy as a little kid, and the asthma attack I had that made my left lung collapse. Oh boy. I never choked, but my brother almost did. We had to do, well, I didn't, but one of my parents had to do the Heimlich on him. I don't remember what it was that he was eating that he was choking on, though. I was always kind of paranoid about that. Because what if you were eating by yourself and, like, you fucking... Didn't they used to show... Well, when they showed you the Heimlich, you always had to, They showed you how to do it on yourself, like, over the back of a chair and shit. So... Mandy says, I wonder how many hot dogs have killed people. Probably a lot. You know what? It might have been a hot dog now that I think about it. Because, man, that's like, it's all tubular and like slick and it'll go right down your fucking throat. It's all tubular and slick.
Oh, shit, man. Our gays
and then we segue right into like the porn portion of the show, like we usually do. It's just, well... For whatever reason, that just made me think of all of those eating contests. And why does it seem like so many of them are hot dogs?
You can get a lot, because they're meat, you can get lots of it for cheap.
And you have
big
to...
packs.
Well, the thing about it is that, like, the eating contest that they have for the hot dogs, like, you have to eat the bun, too, but they usually, like, soak the bun in water, which is gross as shit. I mean, I love hot dogs. I'm not saying that, but it's just kind of like... I don't know. To me, it just seems like takes all the fun out of eating. Like just cramming all that down your gullet. And it's always skinny people. It's always skinny people that win. That blows my mind. Zach says, oh no, what a way to go. Death by deep throating a meat shaft. Right? That's a whole porn subgenre. Alex Rivera. Oh, okay. This is gonna be a question for you, Tom. You'll enjoy this.
Okay.
I have a question. Do you think there's any way for a person to control RSPK, or is it just random? Oh, and also, as an adjunct to that, you messaged me 2 days ago, Thursday.
Yeah, something happened again.
That something happened. It was minor, but
it was kind of like the time that.
So talk about that.
It was kind of like the time I was looking for the motorcycle key. Couldn't find my motorcycle key for days.
This was a couple years ago.
A couple years back. And I was sitting in front of the television on the end of the bed, and Pookie was rolling around acting crazy, my feet, and I'm like that.
She likes to wrestle.
And I looked down, and I saw her reach up and grab something. And I was like, and then she was biting it. I was, what the fuck is that? And it was the motorcycle key. You tell me.
And we had torn the fucking house apart.
Yeah.
For days, looking for that thing.
Motorcycle key had a rubber end on it. It's a Buell key, a little blue, and she was sitting there gnawing it, and I was like,
she likes to chew on rubber.
And I was just like, where the? And I saw her catch something out of the air. I wasn't looking directly at her, it was a little off to the side. I saw her reach up and catch something that was falling. Okay, well,
like the poltergeist dropped it on her. She was like, "Oh, toy, thank you."
Yeah, she didn't notice it. She didn't notice anything strange. Well, a couple days ago. Pookie, that's why I mentioned this. Pookie was in front of me, rolling around and fighting fucking hairbands. She loves hairbands. You can buy her any toy in the world, she won't fuck with it. But if it's one of Jenny's hairbands, She will fucking...
She goes in my bathroom and steals them. I had to buy a whole other thing because all my other ones are gone. Because she's like, she picks them out with one toe and she's like, she puts it in her mouth and she looks around like, oh shit, and then she like runs and takes it away and hides it someplace.
Pookie's odd. Pookie's the only cat that I've ever seen that'll pick something up with one paw and throw it and then chase it.
Yeah.
So in this fucking whirling, I'm watching television and the television is on a big like a stand, a television stand, and it's got a little drawer and then there's a slot for the Xbox and I got some battery charging equipment and shit in there. It's black. And I had the shade cracked and it was the dark. The room's dark. I got damn galaxy fucking being projected up on the screen and fucking colored lights in there. You know, the whole house looks like a Pakistani brothel or some shit like that.
We got nightclub lighting.
Nightclub lighting to the whole thing. So Pookie's playing and I'm fucking with her and I'm looking at the television and I see her stand up and throw the fucking hair band or the what do you call it? Hairband, right?
Yeah, it's like a
rubber band,
like the black rubber band.
But it's and see her throw it with one paw, and I see it go through the air, and basically land next to the Xbox in that slot. And she ran over it, and she stood up on her back legs, and I could see her hands
looking for it.
Where'd
it go?
And that went on for a long time, maybe 10 seconds or so, and she's still looking for it. Moving up and side to side. So I said, okay. So I grabbed the flashlight because it was dark there. I saw it go into the darkness in between the two little levels. Grabbed the flashlight. I always got a flashlight next to me. There's a fucking military, you know. Where's my flashlight? It's dark in here too. So if I need light, I'll fucking...
Yeah, we kind of like it dark in here.
Yeah, I got a fucking solar-powered rechargeable metal flashlight that can break fucking glass, and on the back of it it'll make a fucking electric arc so you can make fucking sparks and shit, start fires with it. So I went go over there and turn the flashlight on and look for it. I couldn't find it. I was like, where is that fucking thing? Pookie's looking for it too. She knew exactly what I was looking for. I'm picking up the Xbox and moving shit around. There's not much there. And I looked behind the thing. I pulled the fucking the television stand out a little bit, looked for it, wasn't there. And I turned around to go sit back down, and that fucker was next to the nightstand.
On the other side of the room.
On the other side of the room. Yeah. That's one of the very few of the weird things that's happened. Oh, man, going back to fucking what happened at Mammoth, it was real fucking wild. Very active for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 weeks probably.
Let me run and go to the bathroom.
Nowadays, it's just kind of intermittent. I'll be right back. Sometimes it might not do it for years. Sometimes it might... Damn, you looking good. I'm gonna get some of that. Yeah, I'm gonna get some of that. All right. The question was, can a person control it? Theoretically, yeah. I wasn't able to though. As soon as I tried to do it, it went away. And that was when I was a kid. So I suspected that I had something to do with it. I thought it was reading my mind. Because if I thought of an object, that'd be the next object that moved, and I'd be like, man, that motherfucker, that ghost was reading my mind. It knew that I was thinking about that object and moved it. And I told my Uncle Red, I says, I think this thing's reading my mind. He said, what do you mean? And I said, I was just thinking about that object and it moved it. And he was a little bit wigged out. He was like, yeah, shit, it can do all this other stuff. It can move these objects. Maybe it can read your mind. That worried me. And then, I don't know. Guess it must have been about 6-7 hours later. I said, maybe it's not reading my mind. Maybe I think of these objects and somehow I move it. So I said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell these objects to move. So I'd be like, I'm going to get that object to move over there. And that stopped the whole phenomenon. That's when it stopped. Trying to do it. So... And then it would be, you know, I didn't see it again for years later, but then it would manifest itself in different ways.
Well, did you say that you kind of have a theory that actually trying to control it, like, suppresses it? Yeah,
it has something to do with the way the human mind is set up. It's the unconscious mind that's doing it, not the conscious mind. So because most of you is in the unconscious, and there's more than one facet to your personality. you're kind of like a complex of multiple personality complex going on in there. And they're all checking one another, and they're discussing things amongst each other before you even think of it. So there's kind of like this perpetual conversation going on back there. Because I fucking kind of lived a weird life. It was kind of hard at certain times. The more stress I'm under, sometimes it evens out to nothing. Sometimes the internal conversation can get pretty loud in there. If I'm bored, it can get real loud if I'm bored and under stress. And it's like different things in there talking. And some of them are bad. That's why I'm kind of scared of this poltergeist.
I'm scared of it too.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's
never
you, but...
heard anything. It's never heard anything, but there's, you know...
But you never know.
Yeah.
There's a first time for everything.
Yeah.
Like I said, and I've told you that before, especially, like, at our old house when all of that shit was happening. And even though, in a way, I don't find it scary, because I know it's you. It's not like it's a demon or something. Not like I believe in demons, but I'm just saying. So it's like, so I know that it's you. But then, knowing that it's you, and because I've known you for such a long time, I'm like... Yeah. Well, it could be that might
be bad.
End badly. Yeah, like you might be like get a certain kind of way one day.
Yeah.
And some bad shit might happen.
Yeah.
You know, like you might get like, because I told you before, like you might get like mad at me, like a brick will fly in my head or something from someplace.
It's never thrown anything heavy at anybody.
I mean, that's the thing.
It's
like,
only thrown things at me, actually.
Yeah, and I mean, look, I've known you forever. You've never hurt me. You've never come close to doing anything like that. So it's just kind of like, I don't think that it would happen, but it's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of like that. What if, okay.
The most dangerous thing it threw was a knife, a kitchen knife.
And that,
it threw it
point forward. Threw it at you.
Well, no, it went across in front of me.
And that was before I even met you. That was when you were
I was a little kid when that, right. A little kid, I was about 14, 13, 14.
13 you were.
And it did that in front of everybody.
Yeah. And
they were just gasped, you know. And it sailed out of the kitchen in a straight line, not an arc, a straight line, point forward. Went right in front of me, and it went right to Lois's sliding glass doors. Didn't hit the door. Stopped maybe a half inch before it. Bounced off and hit the ground with a thud. Boom! And didn't even bounce. Right at my feet. And all my hair stood up. But all shit, it was being thrown and... Stuff was moving minutes before this, so I was kind of warmed up to it. And I immediately went into denial. I was like, that didn't happen. And Red's like, come over here, man. Come over here. And I said, did that happen? He goes, yeah, it happened. And I immediately just kind of shake that off, because that was it was a weapon, you know. That scared me.
Yeah, Mandy just said, mine tends to be triggered when I'm under extreme stress and my hormones are out of whack.
Yeah.
I had a spoon when I was around 14, 15 hit me on the leg on top, from coming up from on top of the coffee pot.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar kind of thing is what you had.
Yeah. Now, can you control it? I would say no, not consciously. The only thing that I've been able to do at will is things like astral projection. But you have to do it basically by... There's a certain feeling, a certain vibe you got to get in. It has to be kind of like transcendental meditation. And you have to kind of like ramp yourself up for it. And once you're real relaxed, you have to basically surrender your soul. It's kind of like going through a willful death to allow yourself to die. But you don't die. It just feels like you're dying and you're out. But the thing is that you're not... Sometimes you're out, you're looking down at yourself, but a lot of times you go into like, some people have called it like the astral world, but I don't think that's an accurate point. Sometimes you'll appear in someone else's dream. You know that they're dreaming, and they see you in their dream. Sometimes they remember it, sometimes they don't. You can't really choose where you appear sometimes. It's weird.
I told you we need to try to start doing that.
Yeah, the thing is like, it's been a long time since I've done that.
Yeah.
There's weird shit that you see over there, and the first time it happened spontaneously was like 2 or 3 days before that motorcycle accident where I had that near-death experience. It was almost kind of like
a precursor.
Like a precursor, because I think with that part of your mind is outside the normal space-time continuum. So there's no difference between now and the future or the past. So, I mean, it was really a near-death experience. I was in a coma for a while.
Well, and
so I think it was actually kind of part of a death process, but I didn't die, though.
And you told me, too, that...
Yeah. People saw it happen.
Well, and you told me, too, that just prior to your motorcycle accident, in which you were in a coma, like, after that, you went out of your body before the accident, or at least so it seemed.
Seemed like it at the time.
At the time.
Yeah. I was riding a bike, and I was...
Like, you saw yourself from above, like, before you were in the accident.
I didn't ever go through the accident. I left before the accident happened.
Yeah.
That's how my memory went. Some people say, well, you can't trust your memory when you have those head injuries.
Well, that's true,
too.
too.
Yeah, but that's just the way the memory was. And I kind of believed it because a lot of stuff that had happened. Did a whole show on it. It's...
we did a show about out-of-body experiences. And we've done a couple of shows about the Mammoth Mountain thing that you went through.
I was riding the bike. At that time, it was a Ninja ZX6 that I had. ZX600, actually. It was fucking tuned to the gills, too. That motherfucker was hot. This is 1994. I just remember going down the road, going to turn some videos that I had rented back in. It was out in front of Fort Campbell, Kentucky, going to the video store. This is when I was in the Army. I only had a few months to go before my ETS, before I got out. So I was going down the road, and I looked over to my left and saw a shadow of myself and the motorcycle being cast on the ground, and it was like real mesmerizing. And I was like, man, I sure lived a good life. You know, it was that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Spooky.
And I was like, you know, and then I realized I wasn't seeing my shadow, actually. I was looking down on myself riding the bike. And it did kind of look like a shadow, and I felt like there was a big bright light behind me. And I looked over, and I says, look at me riding a motorcycle. And I was like, where's that light coming from? And I just remember turning, and I didn't have a body. It was just like a ball, like the size of a ping pong ball. And I turned and looked, and there was this big bright light. It was like a big round welding arc, just pure white. And it came down and got me. I didn't have a tunnel experience or anything when I'm going down a tunnel. Not really. It was like this ball came down and got me, and then I was in it. And it was just this big fucking ball, this big fucking white sea, 360 degrees in every direction forever, of like welding arc is what it was like. Prismatic white, pure white light. And it felt like this joyous singing and shit everywhere. And then out of that stuff...
Joyous singing and shit.
Yeah, joyous singing and shit. And then there was like a whole fucking group of these fucking... Like a welcoming committee, man. I think there was about 6 or 7 of them. And I knew who they were. And they looked 3D. Like 3D statues made out of that same welding arc material. There's no way to describe it because there's no way to have shadow or shading. But it was just like... Imagine 3D figures coming up out of television static. It was like that, but it was like prismatic welding arc. And there was all these people that fucking were, like 6 of them that were fucking welcoming me back and fucking, I was like, oh, I hadn't seen you in a long time, that kind of shit, you know. And I remembered how some of them looked. And then they kind of parted, and there was this big, tall one. And I knew it. I knew who he was and everything. And he was... Basically, it was kind of telepathic communication. I was seeing images and emotions. I could kind of hear voice, the tone of the voice with it, but I knew it wasn't voices. That was just kind of like a special effect. What it was just kind of thoughts. And it said, you can't stay, you have to go back. And I was like, no, I don't want to go back, man. What are you talking about?
It's like, this is awesome.
Yeah, I ain't going back. I'm done. Like, no, go back. You got to go back because you have to do this and this. And it showed me stuff that I had to do. And I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot that I had to do that. As if I had chosen the life and had to do all this stuff.
Right. So, like, like, the timeline didn't really, like, everything was kind of like...
oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
you know, it's like, remember you have to do this and this and that.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. He says, I got to go back then. She goes, yeah, you're going to be all right, basically. And he goes, and I said, am I going to remember any of this? And he goes, you're going to remember some of this, but some of this you're not going to remember. So the things, like the future shit.
Like you can't remember
I couldn't know, yeah.
Well, because maybe it's kind of a thing where it's just kind of like, well, we can't show, because then you might be able to alter it.
Right.
Sure.
It was like, we can't spoil the end of the movie.
Right.
Basically what it was. We can't spoil the end of the movie that you chose to see. So then, I said, you got to go back. So I'm out of here. I'm saying goodbye to them all. And I fucking turn around and look, and there's just this black, empty space with this disc. It looked like the damn Wheel of Fortune. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like a flat disc, and it was spinning slowly. And I was trying to figure out what color it was. It was kind of all colors, and it was these threads all kind of interwoven and this and that. And I realized what I was looking at was basically the space-time continuum. And I said, where do I have to go back? And then I was my eyes but I did have eyes, I don't think I did. I kind of homed in on where it was I had to go back to in space and time. And I just started going that direction just automatically. And as I was going to it, it was getting bigger. And I was noticing more and more threads were appearing, and they were individual timelines of other people. In other words, their life experiences.
Like I said, you would probably like Weave World.
Yeah, I saw mine. It says, okay, that's where I was, and fucking went in there, and boom, and then I was in a hospital. And I remember sliding across the air next to the bed for a little while. There was all kinds of weird shit. Was fighting things. There were things in there like demon type things, but then that kind of went away, and then it just started to come back to normal. But it was weird.
It does sound kind
but
of
no, weird. But it seemed more real than reality. It was like hyper realism. It kind of unrestricted by the physical body, and it was happening outside of space time. Well, I went through that NDE. It kind of reminded me a lot of the OBE that I'd had a few days before. I was like, this is why that happened. And I know that did happen because it happened in the barracks, and my roommate saw it. And it scared the shit out of him. Because there was.
Although he would never tell you exactly what he saw.
Never tell me exactly what he saw. I know parts of what he saw, but he wouldn't tell me exactly what he saw.
But where the implication is that he probably saw you outside of your body in some fashion.
I don't think it was my physical form.
No. That's not what I meant. I meant
he had a sense that I was.
He understood that you were not in your body.
Yeah, he thought I was dead. He was trying to shake me back awake. And I said, I was up there. Did you see me? And he fucking slapped my hand down. Don't you ever fucking talk. And he says, what'd you see up there? I think he just remember how you said sometimes you have a feeling of a presence of somebody's watching you.
Yeah.
I think that's what he felt. I don't think he saw anything. I think it was invisible.
But he felt like a
something
presence
was up there
coming from that direction.
I think that's what it was.
Well, like I said, I'm not a huge, I'm pretty skeptical about that kind of stuff. But it's like a couple of times in my life I have felt a very, very strong sense of like a presence. Probably the strongest I think was at my grandmother's old house, which wasn't haunted or nothing like that. I lived there for a long time and I never felt anything weird there. But for some reason I was sitting at the dining table one day and I felt a very strong presence of like someone standing right behind me. And that was the first time I'd ever felt that. Like literally I was like somebody standing right behind me like right now. And like I looked around and there was nobody there. Now a lot of people have said, well, my grandfather's ashes were in an urn in the china cabinet, like right behind me, but I don't know. He had been dead for several years at that point, and it's just like I didn't get the sense that it was anyone I knew. It was just I felt like somebody was standing there, and I had never felt like that before. I was just I was sure somebody was standing back there, and nobody was. The Mite Bowser is here, and says Mammoth Mountain Poltergeist talked about how cool it was, and it said it really messed me up seeing that stuff from years ago, close to home trauma.
Oh, so he's seen it too, yeah.
Yeah, if you're new here, we wrote a book about Tom's experiences.
Yeah.
That he had
Luckily,
back in the early 80s.
Uncle Red was still alive then, because he remembered more about it than I did.
He's passed away now. But
yeah, some of that shit, for some reason I didn't allow myself to remember it. Most of the big stuff I did, but then there was some other stuff that was pretty big that I just, for some reason, just kind of refused to remember it. But when he reminded me, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Like the cars, the Matchbox cars being moved.
Yeah.
And it made patterns. I remembered that when he remembered it. There was a couple other ones that he remembered that I'd forgotten all about. I think I forgot about the knife, didn't I?
No, you remembered
that one?
Because I remember you telling me that.
Okay.
Oh, Mike Bowser says, I'm an old hand here. I'm David June. Oh, okay.
Okay, right.
We remember you.
Yeah.
You just have a different name now. Yeah, Mandy said, what's weird is I've always had little poltergeist activity in every house to some extent. But my worst one was in my childhood home, like my mom seeing a doppelganger of me. Yeah. Stuff moving and stuff. Yeah, it's...
My mom's seen doppelgangers of me, too.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, I think, well, when you were in your motorcycle wreck...
She was in Brazil.
She was in Brazil, and she said that she saw Tom appearing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And said, hi, Mom.
Yeah, I was all happy.
But she knew that something was wrong because she knew that obviously he wasn't there, like he was in another country.
She called the army. Trying to
and she's like, what the fuck is wrong?
Something's wrong with his,
because he just appeared in my kitchen and
saw an image of me. Yeah.
But yeah, I remember her telling me that.
I don't remember it, though.
Well, yeah, but I remember her telling me that multiple times. But, I've been hearing a lot about, It didn't seem to be like a thing, but like recently I've heard a lot of stories about people that had like, poltergeist-ish type experiences, and there's a lot of doppelganger shit involved. And honestly, like doppelganger shit is like really scary to me, and I don't really know why that is.
I don't think the doppelganger's there, of course.
No, probably not.
It's just a psychic contact with the person. It's so strong they feel that they see the image, but it's not there. If you had a camera and tried to video, there'd be nothing there. It's like a psychic hallucination, I believe, because it wouldn't be energetically economical to form some kind of a 3D image, you know what I mean, out of some kind of weird quantum particles. Why not just place that image in someone's mind? That'd be a lot easier.
Yeah, it is.
That's probably all it is. Probably all it is.
But I don't really understand it. I've always been like really creeped out by the whole doppelganger concept. And I can't really put my finger on why that is. But it's like whenever I hear a story about, I was in the house and like my mom said, hey, weren't you just upstairs? And like you're downstairs, and like that would freak me out. Like to think there was another one of me like running around. And every time, because somebody mentioned David Lynch earlier and how he's really into transcendental meditation, which he is. And all of his movies are very nightmarish, very dreamlike. He's very into that organic, subconscious, trying to capture that on film, which I think is one of the reasons why his movies freak me out so much, because he's very into that doubles, you know what I mean, like people being in like two places at once and all that other kind of stuff, and that kind of shit has always like freaked me the fuck out. And I can't really articulate why that is, but that's always been one of the scariest things to me. It's just, and I don't know why that is, but Alex Rivera said, Jenny, it's because of that damn Twilight Zone episode. It had that effect on all of us. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was just like from my childhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mandy, when mine was real strong, when I was about 14, and like I said, it was really only really strong for about 2 weeks. It would just do things like make things appear in the center of a room, like a big stack of plates or something. And you don't know how they got in there. They would have passed you to go through the door, but they're in there and, like a teleporter in there, fast. And it would just, play games with you. Sometimes it would throw things. Mostly it moved things behind closed doors. You could hear it moving things in a room, and you'd have the door closed, and then as you approach the door, you could hear it stopping. Then you'd open the door, and the furniture would be rearranged a bit. Things upside down. Red and Lois saw some stuff. They were standing at the foot of the bed in one room where shit was moving, and the comforter slid off the bed and wrapped around them, and it simultaneously the fucking little throw pillows fucking went up over their heads and went on top of the closet, because the closet had a little cubby hole in there. And I heard Lois screaming, and I went running to see what it is that they were seeing. And by the time I got to the doorway, she was fucking up on her tippy toes going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I couldn't see what was happening. Then she goes, it's gone. And she said that she felt something like a cross between a snake and a hand. She couldn't see it, but it wrapped around her waist and snake its way down a leg and go down into the fucking floor. She said it felt like it had a hand on it. She said it was kind of cold, but you couldn't see anything. So I don't know, just some kind of psychic motive force or something.
I mean, pretty weird.
Yeah.
And like I said, we've talked about this a lot, and we've pretty firmly established that it was probably coming from you.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of it being like
No.
an entity or anything.
It's recurrent spontaneous psychokinesis, but it's subconscious. And it kind of has its own character, like a character in your dream.
Yeah, and you know, well, like I said before, we've had minor incidents happen. Not so much here, but like I said, Tom messaged me 2 days ago about the weird rubber band thing.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of stuff happen at the house that we lived in Sanford.
We've had some here.
A little bit, yeah.
Remember that metal skull ring that biker woman
gave? Oh, yeah.
That happened.
Your other wife.
I was looking for something my other girlfriend, my other wife, my biker wife. She's been crumpled up one shoulder higher than the other. She's funny. How you doing, baby? I'm gonna give it to you.
At the Oasis.
At the Oasis, yeah. You can have all my rings. She gave me this ring. It's a stainless steel ring. She goes, that ring is stainless steel. Okay, thank you very much. And
I've never.
I had that ring in the up on top of a little fucking cabinet that I had up there with some like AR-15 uppers and shit. And I was looking for something else, and as I was going, my eyes went across that thing, and I saw that ring for a second. As I looked away, I saw it flick up off the fucking top of the thing and flutter down like this, like a leaf. As I looked away, but I wasn't watching it when it did that. It just did it when I looked away. But then I heard it, boom, hit the ground. I was like, wait, hold on, what the fuck was that? And I said, it was weird. And it didn't happen when I looked at it. I looked at it and I looked away. When I looked away, I saw it in the corner of my eye go flying up, spinning, and then it fluttered down like a leaf, but it was fast. Like I say, like a leaf. It was like meant like this.
Yeah.
Like a zigzag, but it was fast. You know.
But like obviously not like a metal ring would normally behave. You know, in regards to gravity.
It didn't move normally.
Right.
It looked like it was in 0G, like it didn't weigh anything.
All the weirdest shit like happens when I'm not here.
Yeah.
Though that like always, I never get to see anything. Like I've seen a couple of things, but not anything like super.
Then she was at work one time. This is at the old place. I was sitting there. I was fucking jamming out on fucking the Mad Max video game. And I was fucking driving and fighting, you know, the cars, and I was zooming in
like
on my
do.
reality. And a wind came through and fucking blew the fucking shades up. And I was like, what's the fucking wind doing in here? It happens real fast. You're not thinking about it. You're relaxed.
Like we don't have no windows open.
Jenny's seen me do it, and I didn't know that it happened. Like when it threw the remote. It took me a second to go, oh yeah, I guess it did. The remote did go flying. I'm kind of like getting zoned out when it happens. And I saw the fucking inner curtains, and they never moved. But at the time, it didn't startle me. It's like they blew in a big wind, and when they went out like that, they went in front of that cabinet, the same one that had the ring on top of it. And I was looking at the screen, but next to it was that cabinet, and I saw something shoot down in a straight line, like a blur, and hit the bottom fucking shelf, and it hit, and I heard it go, brrr, and I hit pause and looked, and it was a little plastic shot glass used to measure an e-liquid when you're making your own e-liquid, your own fucking vape juice. Call it juice, all right? And it was well inside the fucking shelves. It didn't come out and then go down and go back in. It went straight down through all those fucking shelves and hit bottom first, went brrr, like that for a second. It was still settling down when I was looking at it. It was weird, and I was like, how'd that wind do that? Oh, that wasn't wind. There's never any wind in here. Did you ever see those black drapes fucking...
Yeah, well, like I said, we didn't have any windows open or nothing
none
like
was
that.
Open, yeah.
No, we didn't have anything open.
Now, some people go, oh, that's bullshit. You'd be scared. I've seen much worse when I was a kid. But it happens... Recently, it happens when I'm almost absent-minded. I don't know that it happened. I don't realize that it happened until after it already happened.
And the thing about it is, like, look, I had never seen it. I had heard about it because Tom told me about it, like, when we were writing the book.
Yeah.
But then, you know, when we were all sitting in the living room, and, you know, most of y'all, if you've been here a while, like, you know the story, but it's me, Tom, his mom was there, and our friends, Dimitri and Jen.
Yeah. And they were over Mad Max. We were trying to
watch Mad Max Fury Road. We
were
going to rent it.
Yeah.
So we'd already seen it like
this
6
is
times.
This is probably about 6 months before the shot glass. When you say about 6 months, maybe a year.
Something like that. Yeah, it was a while before that. But it's like, so I had never seen anything. Like, he had told me all the stories, so I knew all about it. And I think by that point I had written Unseen Hand, which is, you know, all about poltergeist stuff.
Yeah, it had done some stuff about 6 months before this, but she didn't see it.
But I didn't see it.
It threw the damn little statues off and pulled the fucking...
See, I thought that was after, but I can't...
After.
I can't really remember.
That might have been after.
But so, I had never really seen anything.
Yeah.
But we used to always talk about it. I was like, man, I really want to see it. That would be really cool. Because I've never seen anything like super paranormal or anything. Even though I was always, you know, I'm a big skeptic about it, but it's just like, man, I really would like to see some of that stuff. And so when it happened, and I know people say it's like, oh, you'd shit your pants or it was scary or something, but it wasn't like that. It's like, it happened in front of our faces. Like, we were just sitting there waiting for the movie to start, and then the remote control just picked up and flew off the table and made like a big loud sound when it hit the floor.
It hit a thud.
Like boom, like that. And then for a second, I wasn't sure. I was like, did I just see that? And like, I look at Dimitri and Jen, I'm like, did you guys just see that? And they're like, yeah, we fucking thought. Like, their eyes were like this big. And so, but it wasn't scary. Like, I don't know. I guess because I was so primed because I knew it was you, and it's just kind of like, so I didn't think it was like fucking a ghost or demonic or anything.
At the time, I was on the couch over next to it on the other side.
But it wasn't scary. I just thought it was kind of neat because I'd never seen it.
Yeah, I was zoned out on the couch next. I was looking on the couch next to everybody else, and I heard the commotion of them going, "Did you see that thing go fly?"
Yeah, it's like, did you just see what I just? Did I just see what I thought I saw?
And I looked over there, and I was like, "What?" I wasn't really aware. I mean, I saw it happen, but I just was kind of like, it didn't faze me because I was, I don't want to say in a trance, but I was like, you know, when you stare and you're kind of like in your own.
Yeah, you're kind of
like. I was
doing
doing that when it happened. And I looked at that remote, and I said, "That came off there?" And he went, "Yeah." And I stood up and I looked at it, and all of a sudden I felt all the hair standing up on the back of my neck. And I looked down, and there was a stack of coins at my feet that it came from my fucking bedroom on the nightstand. And I said, "Look at this." And then I went over there and I took that, and they were like, "Wow." And fucking Dimitri's like, "Tom, do it again." And I said, "No."
Yeah, he was very excited.
I felt the shit fucking kind of like building up on me. It's kind of scared me. And then I reached down and grabbed that remote and threw it again to see what it sounded like, and it didn't sound anything like it said. Remember that? It just went click.
Yeah, it just makes a clicky, plasticky noise.
It made like a plastic click noise.
That wasn't the sound it made the first time.
No, it sounded like thud. Like it weighed like a brick.
And it didn't bounce.
No, it stuck.
Either. It went...
Yeah.
Like it was being sucked into the floor.
Yeah.
It was like that.
The reason why the reason why the fucking the coins were there is because sometimes earlier I said she was talking about. Remember that? I think it might have been a couple days before or something.
But we were joking. It's like, why can't it do something useful?
Says, why that poacher
like
do something? He's like, bring me some fucking money.
money.
I was thinking at the time like the money from the bank, like a big pallet of fucking.
Right,
hundreds.
that's what I was imagining.
Yeah.
That
just brought me a fucking stack of my own coins.
Yes. Gee, thanks.
Yeah.
That's already my move. Bring me someone else's
up to like
money.
maybe 75 cents.
Cheap ass poltergeist.
Yeah. Just gave me what it
had. While you're out there.
Okay, here, get some.
Yeah, you know what I want.
Yeah.
It's Friday night, and I'm free finally. So I'm gonna get fucking drunk. Well, you know, I'm gonna get kind of drunk. Tomorrow we're gonna go. Well, we're gonna go and do our stereotypical Chinese buffet, and go to the bookstore, get some coffee. But last week, when we were at the bookstore, it's Books A Million that has the Joe Muggs Cafe in it in the Lake Square Mall, and I noticed that they are opening a Spirit Halloween. They're opening a Spirit Halloween right across from the bookstore in the mall, and so I'm very, much hoping that the Spirit Halloween will be open tomorrow, so I can spend some money in there. I still haven't decided what I'm going to do for the Halloween. I can't believe I'm so behind. It's like already September 1st, and it's like, dude, I only have like 2 months until Halloween, and this is like way later. Well, okay, I've broken it down. I'm either going to do Sexy Lady Werewolf or Sexy Lady Predator. But I don't know. I'll see what I can come up with. I'm not loving... I've already kind of done like a little bit of a perfunctory look around some of the werewolf stuff that's available. I don't love it, but it's like, I don't know. I don't have a fuck ton of money to spend on it. I spent a lot of money on my Medusa costume last year, but it kicked ass, so I'm not going to get too upset about it. But I don't know. I can't decide. Some days I'm leaning more toward the werewolf thing, and some days I'm leaning more toward the predator thing. I guess it will just turn out... I mean, it'll just be down to, like, what is easier to source and what's not going to cost me, like, $500 and shit like that. And what looks better. I don't really know. But I do kind of want to look around. If Spirit Halloween is open, it better be open tomorrow. They had all the signs out last Saturday. So I'm kind of hoping that it'll be open. Because it's Labor Day weekend. You would think they would open up. So I want to go look and see what they have in there that maybe I could use. I mean, it's easy for you. You already know what you're going to do for Halloween.
Yeah. Bane.
Next year, you need to do Ming the Merciless. So.
Yeah. That's expensive costume.
I know, but it's like maybe next year we can do a whole Flash Gordon situation. Because I still want to do, what's her name?
Yeah.
Kala?
Yeah. Now, some people might be saying, how the hell can you move something with your mind? I don't think you do. I don't think there's any kind of energy or anything involved in it. I would look at, what's his name? Stuart Hameroff. He's an anesthesiologist who's hooked up with a Nobel Prize winning quantum physicist named, what's his name? Roger Penrose.
Sir Roger Penrose.
Sir, yeah. And
it's
about consciousness, that consciousness is not some kind of digital computation, that there's quantum physics involved, quantum forces involved in there. And Hameroff says that if there's quantum entanglement involved with consciousness, that could explain a lot of stuff that you hear from these weird paranormal stories about, like, dreaming true. And I don't know if he ever mentioned poltergeist, but I know that that's what it is. It's something like that. It has to do with altered states of consciousness. The subconscious can sometimes do it, but there definitely seem to be rules. One of the rules was it doesn't seem to be. It seems to be that the object moved cannot be under active.
Like, no one can be looking directly at it.
You can't be looking directly at it.
Like, you can be looking at it, like, out of your peripheral vision or something. Because, like I said, the whole thing that happened with that remote control thing, I was looking in that direction, but I was looking, like, above it. I wasn't, like, looking right at it. I just saw it, like, underneath. But I did see it, like, when it come off, but, you know what I mean? It was already in motion when I looked at it.
Yeah. Usually when you see the object moving, it's already in motion. And it's kind of coming to rest by the time you see it. Or by the time it's kind of dawning on you what's happening. It happens fast. Difficult to catch. Like if you had a camera in your hand, you couldn't catch it. For some reason, when you're looking at it, you're confirming where that object is in space and time, and it can't move it.
That ruins it.
It has to be... the object has to be in a place that's kind of like a probability or a possibility. So things that aren't being actively measured or actively observed are kind of like in a gray area of the world of like maybe. And whatever part of your mind that is quantum that's doing this is in that same state of existence. It's like in the realm of maybe. Somehow it does it. But if I were to tell you exactly the mechanism, I'd be lying. I don't know.
I don't think anybody.
And I've seen it, and I don't know.
Mandy says, off to bed, stay spooky.
Yeah.
I need a good Halloween costume, too. I think Dark Sea Witch. Ooh, I was thinking about that for a possibility last year. No, like, not so much. I was thinking either Sea Hag or, like, Evil Mermaid. Which I still might do one of these days. But I was kind of thinking about I don't know. I can't decide if I want to do werewolf or predator this year. But it's one of the things I want to do. But like I said, that's if Spirit Halloween is open tomorrow, I want to have a look around and see what they got in there. See if there's any possibilities.
It's getting late. We should close down too. You want some more food?
Sure.
All right.
What you got more curry?
Yeah. Got some of that pumpkin curry.
He made pumpkin and chicken curry.
Yeah, I'm gonna start heating it up.
Oh my god, it's so good.
I'll see you guys later.
All right, Tom's out of here.
Yeah, I'm out here.
So I guess I didn't realize it was this late. I was having such a good time. But yeah, so it's 10:30. So I guess we're gonna wrap it up. We went on for 3 fucking hours. Have we really? Yes, we have. All right. So it's Friday night. It's Labor Day weekend. Hopefully you guys have a good 3-day weekend if you have the days off. You know. So we'll be back on Monday night talking about a movie. I don't know which one yet because we haven't decided. Zach brought up Clute before, and I remember that you kept bringing that up, and we will eventually get to that movie. I see that I think it's on HBO Max, which I have, so I might be able to watch that. And I have been wanting to rewatch it, so maybe we'll do that, or who knows. It just depends on whatever mood we're in whenever it comes time to watch the movie. So we'll see how it goes on Monday. But hopefully you guys have a good long weekend. Thank you, everybody, for dropping by and hanging out with us this Friday evening. And we'll see you guys again on Monday. Good night.